Shucking and jiving on the righteous edge, on the righteous edge. Shucking and jiving on the righteous edge, on the righteous edge. Live it up on the edge, on the righteous edge. Live it up on the edge, on the righteous edge. I love being a coon, shucking and jiving to the moon. I love being a coon, shucking and jiving to the moon. I love being a coon, shucking and jiving to the moon. I love being a coon, shucking and jiving to the moon. I've learned that thief has never learned, so I'll jump ship just to let him burn. I drive a delay for the coon. Shucking and jiving on the righteous edge, the righteous edge. Shucking and jiving on the righteous edge, the righteous edge. Live it up on the edge, on the righteous edge. Live it up on the edge, on the righteous edge.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Jack Bravo. I'm on the righteous edge. Mr. Producer is here. We got a show that I think should be very entertaining, but very exposing to what's been going on in society. And I always say that, like what's going on in society. But this is when I talk to a lot of Christians, one of the problems that I have when I talk to Christian leaders is they have no idea how much feminism has reached in and taken hold of the women in the church, women at schools, women in colleges, women in sports. It has such a grasp on them that anytime you have any pushback on what a woman might do or what a woman can do or what you think a woman should do, you will be crucified online. They will tar and feather you. They gonna come after you. They gonna call you incel. Anything you say, it could be the least amount of critical thing. You could say, man, you know what? Being a stay-at-home mom is not that hard. They will come for you and try to ruin your life. And I'm gonna prove that today. Because the two men that we're gonna cover, they started off just doing content on TikTok. And let me tell you something. They're stay-at-home dads. But before we get into that, I want to talk about something that happened and I just found out about today. And you guys know we cover a lot of topics from the Whatever podcast. The Whatever podcast with Brian Atlas. He's very big on TikTok. He has a lot of clips on TikTok. He has a lot of clips on X. And I think his platform is very crucial for exposing how much feminism has indoctrinated the average woman. When you look at the average woman on the dating marketplace and you send your sons and your brothers, and in some cases fathers, out to the dating marketplace, this is the type of nonsense they're facing. People love to say, it's a bunch of OnlyFans girls on there. It's a bunch of OnlyFans girls in the dating marketplace. It's never been like this before. People love to act like they're inviting a bunch of stupid women on there to make women look stupid. No, there's just a bunch of stupid women. Let's be super clear, because I'm getting tired of people acting like that is just a bunch of hatred for women that comes out of nowhere. The hatred for women comes from dealing with women. Do y'all realize this? The women of this generation are worse off than they've ever been and all throughout society since the times of Noah. Men aren't complaining for no reason. I have men that I've mentored that cannot find a suitable woman to be a wife, and they get denied. And they got good jobs. They tall, they average looking men, and the average women do not want them, and the average women have children. They got messed up lives, baby daddy drama. They don't have their finances in order. They got debt. They don't look as good as they think they do. And these average men are still struggling to find good women. That don't make any sense to me. And I'm trying to like tell them, because at first they'll be like, hey, Jack, you don't understand how bad it is out here. And so when you look at the whatever podcast and podcasts like that, like Fresh and Fit and other podcasts, Fugazi, when you look at all these podcasts that have women on, Rollo Tomasi and whatever the other dude's name, I forgot his name. No disrespect to him, but you have all these people who all they do is talk to women all day. Women from different lifestyles, women from different sides of the country. There's one thing in common. Women have gotten more and more retarded. That's a fact. You talk to them, they will say we bring nothing to the table, but we deserve everything. And so you need places like the Whatever Podcast to expose this. And the reason why so many people are caught off balance by it is because women have gotten that bad. And you say, men have gotten bad too. No, they haven't. Men have been the same. You say men have gotten weaker. Yeah, you can make that argument. Testosterone has been going down. You know, pornography has been going up. The sexualization is all over everywhere, more available than it's ever been before. Whose fault is that, though? Whose fault is that? We've made sexual liberation this staple in our society that you can't be a liberated woman without it. We tell women that it's empowering to show your butthole online, and then we broadcast it to even men like me who are happily married. Every time I scroll, I see some new butt cheek on the screen that I didn't ask for, and somehow it's my fault. I'm supposed to get blamed for that as a man. If you men weren't so lusty, I'm not lusty. I'm not looking for this. I didn't ask you to put your butt cheeks in my face. My wife didn't ask for you to put your butt cheeks in my face. She would be happy if you didn't. But then men get blamed as if all the problems of society are on us. And then women, totally perfect angels, they can do no wrong. And I'm getting sick of it, man. Somebody has to call this nonsense out. And the Whatever Podcast and the Fresh and Fits out there, they do a good job of exposing what men have to deal with. So there was some drama today that I'm like, this is going to blow up, man. This is absolutely going to blow up because there's a creator. Her name is Roma Army. She is very, very big on TikTok. And she is like a men's right activist type woman. She goes out there and she makes videos critiquing other women. And she says all the evils that are done to men in today's society. I think she's from Canada, if I'm not mistaken. I've always had one eyebrow raised with her for various reasons. But she has been on the Whatever Podcast. And I thought she had a good showing. You know, she had an entertaining show. But she had this to say about the Whatever Podcast. Can we pull that video up, Mr. Producer? I think it's the first. Yep, it's that one. And remember what I said about, yep, just scroll. No, just scroll up and scroll down.
If you look at Brian from the Whatever Podcast, his community hates me. They think I'm too feminist.
Have you been on his show?
Yeah, twice.
What do you think about it?
Awful. He reached out to me in about 2020, 2021, and he said that I am what inspired him to start his show and change it from the social experiments to like actually talking about the state of dating and stuff today. Him and that weird Andrew Wilson who backed out from a debate with me.
Really?
And instead of Brian being honest. He chose to say nothing and then allow his like 19-year-old girlfriend to go live on his channel and tell everybody that I gave her heroin vibes when I went the second time. Brian is going to get sued for a toxic work environment. That's coming. I'm saying it right now. He treats his staff like shit, man. He preaches all of these, you know, men have to be strong and they have to be in shape. Brian's fat as fuck. And I don't have anything against fat people. I know that that's rude. I shouldn't have said it that way, and I apologize.
That's a liberal.
Second podcast that I was there, he had us debating for over 2 hours about whether or not a woman should bow to her man. Makes everybody take a photo, and he has this segment in the show where he asks women if they looked better at 19 than they do today, and then he'll age their face with AI and show them as like old. And then he'll be like, do you think you're going to be more attractive when you're old or young? And I'm like, what's the point of this? Women already have enough pressure. Sure. We're already told that once we turn 30, we're like shit.
What do you think put that stigma on women getting older?
Beauty companies.
Yeah.
You have a wife, right? I saw.
Fiance, yeah.
Yeah, fiance.
Yep.
You would never want her to sit as she grows older into like her 40s and her 50s and make her feel like she's like less beautiful or,
right, but that is also my job.
Right.
Fucking milk.
That's exactly how they put it.
But that's also my job in protecting her.
But men like Brian don't understand what it actually is to be like, he's dating a 19-year-old who knows nothing. She's like a complete airhead.
And what I don't like is you just show the worst of women, like these vapid fucking airheads. I don't think that is a fair representation of womanhood at this point.
That was going to be my other point. What he'll do is he'll get one guest that's intelligent, and then he'll get a bunch of like 18-year-old OnlyFans models. Even some of these girls are so young, and the way that he like talks to them, you are allowing your community to send in donations to call her a whore to her face.
That I didn't know about. She told me about
18 years old. If you look at Brian from the
So I had to jot some notes down while she was talking. I didn't want to interrupt the video too much. These are some things that I've noticed. She brought up that the Whatever podcast has the women put their pictures up and ages them to ask them if they're going to be hotter when they're in their 60s, 70s, 80s, right? And it goes from wherever they're at. If they're 20, it'll ask you 10 years from now. If you just watch that segment, especially as a man with logic and reason, you'll notice something. The reason why he does that segment is because modern day women are so delusional, they think they will increasingly get hotter as they age. And it shows that. It's a good segment because I didn't know women thought like this before I saw it on his show. I didn't know that a woman in her 20s thought she would continue to get hotter until well into her 60s. And that if you ask her, she'll just point blank look you in the eyes and bold-faced lie and say, I will get hotter and my value on the sexual marketplace will go up. They will straight up say this. And the audacity of women to think that way is why he exposes it on the show. You know that. You're not that stupid. I've heard you talk. You've said before, you argue with women on the show for how delusional they were being. So acting as if that segment was something you had a problem with, I don't understand that. Second thing that you said that I thought was kind of weird. If you had those problems about him bringing OnlyFans thoughts on the show and bringing women of ill repute on the show, why didn't you say that the 2 times you were on the show? Why didn't you say that? You came back. Why didn't you say that the times you came on his platform? Brian is open for debates. Has he not been? He invites people on that disagree with him purposely. You could have had a great segment of making him look like a complete idiot. You could have came on the show and exposed him. You didn't do that. You waited till you left and you got on this Simp Dudes podcast and then you started blabbing your mouth. I don't like that. I gotta say, I don't like that. I don't like it. Third thing, why are you trying to expose his relationship? If he has a relationship that he has behind closed doors with a 19-year-old who's Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. I don't know. She's above the age of 18. So trying to expose her when he keeps his relationships private, I think that's kind of dirty, man. I really do, because he often says, I don't even say whether I have a girlfriend or not, because so many people hate his show that they come for him. And he goes on X, if you follow him, and shows all the hate comments he gets, all the death threats he gets. And then you went and you go and expose, oh, his girlfriend's only 19. Nobody even knew that. You exposed it because you want to be exposing people now. You in the exposing mood. Well, I think that's kind of dirty, because if somebody was to say, hey, you live on this street, or your boyfriend is this years old, or you got this many kids, I think that'd be kind of dirty, because that's information you didn't put out there for everybody to know. But now that you're not on his show anymore, you can't reap the benefits of his large audience of male simps that you want to get to you on your platform. Now you got a lot to say. I don't really like when people do that type of thing, and I don't like it because you had it. I don't like when Abba and Preach did it to Fresh and Fit. You came on their platform and you could have said everything you had to say, but you waited till you left the platform and then you made an exposed show. That's lame to me, because as a man, if I see you face to face, why would I wait till I leave to bring these problems up? When you sitting right across from him. Now let's go to Rachel Wilson. She addressed these things months ago, because Rachel Wilson, wife of Andrew Wilson, they are both debaters, and I'm a fan of Rachel Wilson. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very biased, because not only am I a Christian and they believe in Christian ethics, I like that they're going into these platforms and actually standing for things that are good. And they go on a platform like that and actually fight against evil. She has responded to Roma Army a long time ago about the beef that they had before. So this is not something recent, but this exposes to me a lot of the reason why people don't like Roma Army. She breaks it down. Let's just watch it.
Hey everybody, so I thought I would jump on here quick and make a quick video for the Roma Army folks that are coming over to my page to just troll me and talk a bunch of smack. Fair enough, it's the internet, right? But I don't think you guys are familiar with this side of the internet, meaning the non-gooner side of the internet. I think you got this whole situation wrong. So let me just explain, because people are like, why are you coming for Roma? You should agree with her. No, and I'll explain why. So first of all, she was in this big spat on Instagram with my friend, Marte, who did want to debate her. You know, I think he saw her on whatever and disagreed with her on some things. He wanted to debate her. He kind of called her out for that. She told not only him, but also Sarah from the Raging Tomato, a great debate platform on YouTube. Look it up. Lots of great debates over there. Sarah's a great mod. She's very fair. Told them that she wanted $800 to debate him. And they both laughed at her, because that's not how you do things on this normal side of the internet, where everything's not about like selling your titties or whatever it is that she's used to. So they were fighting back and forth. And I jumped in just to say, I thought it was really shitty for somebody who claims to be the premier men's rights advocate to be making fun of Marte and saying, oh, you just don't like me because you can't get laid, which is a classic feminist move, right? What do feminists always do when they want to insult a man? You have a small penis, you can't get laid, you just want to fuck me. Those are the three things that they always say. She was just doing her normal feminist thing. I called her out on that. I said, I don't think she's a good representation of like being an anti-feminist whatsoever. I'll get into the details on that in a minute. I think she behaves like a feminist because she is a feminist. Now, you guys might think, but Rachel, she claims to be against feminism, so she can't be a feminist. She's the men's rights champion. Well, first of all, let me just tell you, in her Twitter bio, which she has now removed, it said she was pro-LGBT, trans inclusive, and pro-choice. So this woman supports abortion. She supports same-sex relationships, and she supports transgender identification. How are you going to advocate for men's rights if you don't even know what a man is?
Pause that.
That's like just a very simple.
That's 100% true. If she's over here pretending to stand for men's rights, this Roma Army girl, how are you going to stand for men's rights and liberal rights at the same time? The two oppose each other. Don't you realize that? The reason why liberals right now are struggling to reach young men is because young men are smart enough to see everything liberals stand for is against what men are. Masculinity, protecting this country, not letting illegal immigrants come in and take your women like what's happening in the UK. All these different things that men stand for, personal responsibility, liberals are drastically against. So how can you be a liberal, especially from Canada, the most liberal, cucked out country on the planet? I will wipe my butt with their maple leaf. Anyways, I don't like dang, I shouldn't have said that. What if people from Canada listening? Oh no, right? Whatever, I said what I said. I don't like their liberal policies and bringing them over here. It's too many. What is all these Canadians coming over here bringing their liberal stuff for? Not so erudite, stupid liberal. Roma Army, stupid liberal. Laura Southern, stupid liberal. All these Canadians, keep that over there. We don't want y'all over here. Dang, man. Maple syrup ain't that good for y'all to be infiltrating our country. We don't need that over here. We got enough. Anyways, so when she's talking about having these liberal stances, I'm like, yo, how can you be a men's rights activist and be a liberal who doesn't know what a man or a woman is? What type of men are you talking about? How do liberals word men? Persons with penises, penis owners, non-vagina havers. You know how liberals, how? If you're that stupid, because liberals are stupid, let's not play this game. They're ruining this country and they are stupid. There's no possible way you can have both these opposing ideas inside one big dumb head. You can play more of her video.
Baseline. If you think that women can be men and men can be women, you cannot advocate for men's rights.
Right.
You're already on the wrong side. She openly calls herself a liberal. Now she's like, well, but in the last election, I voted conservative. That doesn't matter. First of all, you're in Canada. All you have is left and further left.
Yes.
That's number one. But two, all her positions are extreme social progressive positions. So if you guys don't know about me, I'll just quickly explain who I am and what I do on the internet. First of all of you simps in my comments saying, Roma's hotter than you. Congratulations, give her a prize. I will let her take the hotter than me prize because that's not why I'm here. I'm not here to be sexual. I'm not here to show people my body or to get men to pay to sexualize me. That's not why I'm here. I'm a married woman, been married a really long time. She's talking a lot of shit about my personal life, even though I DM'd her to say, let's not do that. Let's not be personal. I want to debate you on the issues because we disagree. People think we're on the same side. I don't. Let's debate the things we disagree on and see who comes out on top. Not only did she not take that challenge, she wouldn't take that Pepsi challenge. She refused to reply to me. I went to Brian from whatever. I went to Sarah from the Raging Tomato, asking them if they could reach out, get her to do a debate with me. They both said, sure. They both said, no, she wants to debate Andrew. He's got a bigger following. She wants the clout. He's the kind of like premier recurring male guest on whatever. She wants the debate with him. I said, fine. Andrew will destroy her every bit as bad as I will. Not a problem. Then she goes on and starts lying to you guys. I don't know if you guys just believe everything this woman says, but she says, I'm the one who turned down the debate or I'm the one scared to debate her. No. First of all, what I do online primarily is do debates. I have dozens, if not maybe, 100 or more debates under my belt. I've been doing this for years. They're all over YouTube. They're all over other platforms. If you Google Rachel Wilson debates, you're going to find stuff. I'm doing a headline debate for DebateCon this year in person. I'm doing a surrounded. I've done one for them already.
I would like to see
I'm
that.
like a seasoned debater. I'm trained in philosophy, logic, argumentation, not aware of many women who are better debaters than I am. I'm just going to be honest. I've been looking for them. I've been searching for them. I've tried to debate other women, and generally women aren't interested in debate. They're conflict avoidant. They don't want to do it. Roma's not conflict avoidant. She loves to talk shit. She loves to go to war. I thought she'd want to debate. She doesn't want to do that. She wants to talk shit because she knows she cannot hold a candle to me in an actual debate where we're going to get into the intellectual issues, where you're going to have to demonstrate that your worldview is logically coherent and cohesive, because she can't. Why can't she? Because you cannot claim to be anti-feminist and be a liberal progressive. So my book, my best-selling book, Occult Feminism, The Secret History of Women's Liberation, is about this very thing.
Hey,
I've
pause that
also
real quick.
written multiple...
I bought her book. Her book is good. There's a few things I disagree with because I come from a Protestant background, Reformed Baptist, but her book is very good and is cited. And I think that is a good tool to have if you're going to be debating feminists. You can continue the video.
Articles, essays, speeches that I've delivered at theological seminaries, at universities. These are well cited, academically accepted. One is published in an academic journal. You know, this is what I do. I have to back up everything I say because I want to be taken seriously. What I'm trying to do is show that the history we've been taught about feminism and women's liberation movements is lies that are told. It's information gatekept by gender studies departments at the big universities, and that the feminists in these fields have whitewashed the history, told you a bunch of things about it that are not true to justify feminism. And I get super in depth on that. There's not many people in the world who have read as much of that literature as I have. I go straight to the source, primary sources going back to the 1500s, to the very first feminists that you can find around the world, and their writings and what they say feminism is about, what they say about why they want it, how it came to be, and it's not the story you've been told. So my whole purpose for being online, doing all my writing, doing all my speaking, is to debunk these lies, to correct the historical record, and to also go over, like, what have the results been of feminism? What have we gotten from it? Has it done what it promised to do in helping to protect women and give them a better life? And the answer is no. I know my facts. I know my stats. I know Roma knows some of those things too. She likes to pay a lot of lip service to, like, the suffering that males go through, the things about men that are misrepresented or misunderstood, how they get screwed in family court. There's a lot of people that do that, though. Pearl Davis does a great job at that. Rollo Tomasi is somebody who is very well respected writing about these topics. There's a lot of people who can do that. You do not need some lady who is selling nudes. I don't know if she is now, but she certainly built her following on that, okay?
Oh, no.
It's just the facts of it. She did that. We don't need her with her liberal progressive agenda. She can't even tell you what a man is. She's for baby murder. She's pro-infant murder, and I know that a lot of you who follow her probably are too. I'm not. I want to debate that stuff. I don't want some...
I was looking for any information on Roma to see if she had, like, past sex work stuff. I couldn't find it, but other people have rumored about that, and I couldn't find where she said she did that. But if that is the case, that's a big red flag. And I'll explain why. If you say I'm a man's rights activist, but yet you got money from taking advantage of lonely men, that's like saying I'm pro-health, but I also sell drugs. There's no possible way that you, if that's found out, now be honest, Roma, if you were in the past and you were selling nudes, or you was having an OnlyFans, or you got some secret sex work account where you were selling sexy pictures to people, there's no possible way that the two can hold the same space. You cannot say that you are for men's rights. You care about men and their well-being, knowing the effect that pornography has on men, and knowing why men tend to pursue pornography. It's because they're lonely and they want to get some type of feeling. They want to have a woman desire them. And for you to take advantage of that need that men have, there's no possible way you can hold these two views, that you care about men, but yet you can get paid from their loneliness. It don't work like that, honey child. You can play more of it.
Woman out here claiming not to be a feminist, and then every view she holds is a pillar of feminism. Progressivism, right? Feminism is like the Pandora's box of progressivism. They couldn't have left-wing liberal progressivism. You couldn't screw over men the way that you have. You couldn't throw off the balance of power the way that it's been without progressives. It's a progressive agenda. The feminist movement was funded by Gilded Age progressive industrialists, okay?
True.
So she is in contradiction in her worldview, in what she says, in how she presents herself, and I think she's a terrible representative, and I want to defeat her ideas. That's why I'm on the internet.
You can
I debate men on this. I debate women on this, because most people
She goes through more of that, but I think that's enough to get her point across, because that video is about 9 months old. When, if you guys remember the first video that we talked about, Roma was the one saying they ran away from a debate and Brian didn't say anything about how they were lying about running away from me having a debate. Well, clearly you see 9 months ago, the debate was open for Rachel to say, listen, we can do it on this platform or that platform. I'm sure whatever podcast would have hosted it, that would have been great. And the word is, from Rachel's point of view, is that Roma denied the debate because she wanted a bigger name, which is Rachel's husband, Andrew Wilson. Now, from Rachel's point of view, she's saying that, from Roma's point of view, she's saying that they ran away. I tend to believe Rachel Wilson, and the reason why I tend to believe her is because I've seen her in hundreds of debates. Some of them will probably review on this channel. I've seen her in hundreds of debates, dude. So why would she run away from this girl when she did people with bigger names than her? And then Roma, how many debates have we seen her in? Haven't seen her in none. I've seen her talk about things. I've seen her go on to whatever podcast and go back and forth, but I have not seen her in any formal debates. So I tend to believe the person that has done it rather than the person that hasn't. I want to see how this is going to play out, because Brian is not really that good of a person. Let me reword this. Brian is not a person that likes when people tarnishes his platform. He don't like that. And I think he will respond to this because she put it out on X. She's the one who was like, everybody look at this. I'm bashing whatever podcast that I was just on. So it's gonna go into a firestorm. You know it is. It's just a matter of time. Mark my words, by the end of this next week, there will be some either debate set up or some type of spin around drama where everybody's going all with their hands up in the air saying, oh, I can't believe this happened. Watch, it's gonna happen. So let's go to our next topic, which is, this is funny because did you know that stay-at-home dads are feuding with stay-at-home moms? And the reason being, and I don't want to get too much into this before the videos, but the reason being is feminism. Why? Because feminism has taught that whatever women do is valuable, but whatever men do is not valuable. That if you stay at home, and even this is how bad it's gotten. Tell me if I'm lying. Feminists have taught that even if women send their kids to public school and have nothing to do but clean up the house while their husband is working at a steel mill, her job is still harder than his because the emotional labor, you can't put a money count on the emotional labor, right? I've heard this term emotional labor over and over throughout the week. And what I don't like is this. The things that I love women for, I don't want to have to compete with them. But feminists are making men compete. Why? Because their lack of appreciation. Drop my phone. They lack of appreciation for men. So I will not sit up here and say I don't appreciate my wife who stays at home and homeschools the kid. But that's because she is a traditional, conservative Christian woman who does things right. She homeschools our children, grabs the curriculum. She teaches each one of them in a way that they can be taught. I appreciate that. But when these liberal women want to come and say, it's just as hard as being at a steel mill, they're saying that because they have a lack of appreciation for the life that their husband provided for them. It is a privilege to stay at home. And don't make no mistake about it. Just because I appreciate my wife, don't mean that she shouldn't appreciate me allowing her to do that. And women need to understand, if you have a lack of appreciation, a man will start to outcompete you. He's going to be like, oh, you think you can do it better? Watch me do what you do better than you. We're more competitive. So let's watch this first video. And this is what starts. And this is going to be, what is his name? It is Stay at Home Dad Chronicles. His name is like Daddy Drip or something on TikTok. He's a very funny guy. Stay at Home Dad Chronicles is what his series is called. And he started off doing videos like this, if you want to pull it up.
Stays home and Optimus Prime is the one that goes to work.
Stay at home.
Stay-at-home dad chronicles.
Yeah.
A lot of people are wondering why I'm the one that stays home and Toptimus Prime is the one that goes to work. I think it'd be easier if I just showed you. This was her attempt at making boxed mac and cheese without my supervision last night. She also made sure to scorch the shit out of my favorite and only stainless steel pot, because it would have made too much sense to do it to the 6 cheaper ones that were right beside it that I don't really care about. In all honesty, though, it is my fault. I should have known better than to trust her alone with a pot and a box of noodles with 3 directions on it. So I suppose I gotta take some accountability there. So as you can see, without me, these children can and will starve to death. There's other factors too, like she's got a much higher earning potential than me. I barely have a high school education. And don't get me wrong, she is the sweetest person you'll ever meet, and her dedication to her family and work ethic are unmatched. But it just frustrates me sometimes that at home she's about as useless as a fishnet condom. I'm sure she feels the same way about me earning $0. It's kind of why I started this whole thing, even though I had no hope anything would come out of it. And if you need even more of an explanation, there's also this. Those were taken 20 seconds apart. So I'm not sure what to call this, because caramelized onion bacon grilled cheese doesn't really sound right. But, you know, maybe you guys can help me out with that.
Don't tempt me.
9 out of 10, though.
That? So what he does, if you get a glimpse of what he does, he makes cooking videos. And he shows you how he makes it. He goes through the process, and then he tells a story why he does it. Now, what he does is he does the same thing that single moms do on TikTok. They make videos. How many times have you scrolling on TikTok and you've seen a mom and she's cooking and she's also talking about the difficulties of her life? She's telling a story about the kids. That's what he does. But what he does also that they do is every once in a while he takes a jab at his wife. If you didn't notice, he makes fun of how she couldn't cook. He makes fun of when she messed up something in the kitchen. Women do this all the time. Matter of fact, there's such an abundance of videos of women saying, "My husband's so stupid. He messed this up, and if he was in charge of the kids, they'd be dead by now." How many times have you seen that on TikTok? So he's doing what they do. He's just more entertaining, and he's doing it better. Let's go to the next video.
Stay-at-home dad chronicles. There's a movement going on right now where stay-at-home moms want their sole providing husbands to give them 50% of their income. They say it's for quote-unquote services rendered. So let me get this straight. You're telling me that my wife gets to wake up and work her ass off all day, while I get to live in a house for free, eat for free, use all of today's modern conveniences for free, have unlimited bonding time with my children and shape them out to the way I want them to be, and I can still tell her to run me them pockets? Sounds pretty stupid when I say it, doesn't it? They try to spin you this propaganda that she's working the equivalent of 3 full-time jobs or whatever. Shut your mouth and miss me with every bit of that. She is not doing every single one of those things for 8 hours apiece. And if she is, she probably needs to pick up the pace a little bit. If you need money for something, you can always ask your husband for it. Trying to beat him over the head for half is just wild. Or you could always be ambitious and make your own money. My mother baked and sold cakes when she was a stay-at-home mom. I started this channel with the goal of being able to help out my wife with the bills. And I'm blessed to say it's recently become a reality. Now my goal is to retire her so she'll never have to work another day in her life. But I'm a misogynist and I hate women though, right? And if you have a husband that won't buy you something you need or want when it fits the budget, then you probably shouldn't have married him. Where was all that women's intuition when all the red flags were flying off? Love you all. Hope to see you for the next one.
He's spitting. Dude, I like it. He's a likable dude, man. He's funny. He's saying truth. And what he's doing that they hate the most, and they absolutely hate this, he is ruining their story. Feminists have always told the story that being a stay-at-home mom is the hardest job on the planet, and they confuse hardest with most important. What I mean by that is, can there be anything more important than rearing and teaching the next generation? No. But does that mean that it's just as hard as somebody working in a coal mine? I used to be a bricklayer, carrying brick and cinder blocks up a ladder in the heat of the summer, 100-degree weather. And you want to tell me that staying at home and fixing the kids a couple of meals and changing a couple of diapers is just as hard? Get the heck out my face. No, it's not. No, it's not. And I did that to provide for my family. But women don't like that he's destroying their story. He's showing, man, he can cook, he can take care of the kids, and he can contribute to the household. Meaning that he's starting a channel to help out his family. You would think that other women would look at this and be like, wow, what a good platform. This is cool. Maybe we could learn something from that. Nope. Let's go to the next video.
Stay at home dad chronicles. Some of you ladies really need to stop being so transactional in your relationship. The audacity of some of you really astounds me. It's almost like you take pride in having your marriage be so one-sided in your favor. Making your man jump through hoops for your affection is not healthy. It's almost as if a lot of you are using him for security and stability, and using ass as a bargaining chip to get whatever you want from him.
True.
A man will work the shit out of himself all week, and on his only 1 or 2 days off, you want him to take you shopping, clean the house, finish a house project, etc., etc. And then after you've held this man's meat hostage all day and running him ragged, some of you have the nerve to play in his face and act like you forgot. So now he's got to walk up to you looking like,
"Can I crack? Can I please smash?
Ugh.
Please."
Some of you will even make up something to get out of it. Obviously, I'm not saying be a walking, talking jizz trap. Lord knows you guys like to reach, nitpick, and twist what I say. But my point is, if you don't like being affectionate with your husband, then why are you with him? Do you even like him? Men will go through years of cycles just like this one and then wake up one day regretting their entire relationship and all those years wasted, wishing they would have just bit the bullet with divorce. I'd rather be broke and have peace than have a little bit of money and be miserable every day. Fellas, if you find yourself in a relationship like this, it might be time to ask some questions. Nobody wants that argumentative, I am the table masculine energy. It'll drain you, and it'll drain you fast. Communicate with your partner and find out what the common denominator is. You might be lucky enough to find common ground and salvage your relationship. And if you can't, take it from me. Don't waste any more time, because happiness is out there. Bang bang scallops and shrimp with rice. Remember what I said. Love you all. Hope to see you for the next one.
You can see, so he's getting a little pushback. Women are commenting on his videos saying, you don't know what you're talking about. And you're going to see with the next video that it's going to get worse and worse and worse. All because you guys get a good picture of what he's putting out there now. And his food look good, man. His food look good.
It does.
Dude, and I don't even like shrimp. I don't even like seafood, but that looked good. Maybe if you made some orange chicken, yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, go to the next one.
I caught something wild in the comments right before I went to edit this. Stay-at-home dad is insane. Men used to go to war. Used to? Well, naturally, I got curious. Okay. Interesting. So we're going to pretend that the fruit is a ball sack. Nothing wrong with that, I guess. I wonder what the cause of all that would be. I don't think I did anything to piss anybody off. Oh, okay. I was going to say, I don't really say anything controversial, so I was wondering what would make her so mad. If there's anything I've learned about this, it's that you can't please everyone, I suppose. But I'll still continue to do my best. Nothing against her line of work. If there's anything I've learned in this life, it's that we all gotta eat. So I stupidly trusted my wife to take the money shot of me cutting open this chicken and taking my bite and rating it 1 to 10, only to find out right now that nothing is there. So I apologize, and that will not be happening again.
So, it seems to me that he's caught attention. The bigger he gets, he catches women's attention. And what are they saying? Are they saying, wow, that food looks really good. No, they don't like what he's doing. Now, why don't they like what he's doing? Let's focus on this next video.
Stay at Home Dad Chronicles. Y'all want to see what I got to put up with?
Daddy Sawstrip, a very popular TikTok creator who primarily...
Let me get this straight. Homeboy's wife makes more money than him, so he
Stay at Home Dad Chronicles.
Welcome back to another episode of
Stay at Home.
Baby, come on, baby, come on.
And only a man would be stupid enough to do this, is try to get a platform as an influencer and an affiliate influencer and then trash 80.
Oh, yes, oh, yes.
If a stay-at-home dad tries to convince you that his job is easy and a vacation...
I'm Kendall, and I'm here
Pay attention to that face.
Right up.
Ooh.
Something.
I saw the guy who's the stay-at-home dad chronicles, and he...
Boy, we got a huge boost to the quest for 100K. Red for some reason. Stay at Home Dad Chronicles. If a stay-at-home mom tries to convince you that her job... Stay at Home Dad Chronicles. No need...
So I have a hot take on this.
If a stay-at-home mom tries to convince you that her job is hard, no, it isn't. I'm a stay-at-home dad of 5 children. Stay at Home Dad Chronicles. There's a movement going.
You're up. I just wanted to give a congratulations to Mrs. Kendall Brown in her so far successful call to action to have Hexclad drop Daddy Sawstrip.
Look what they're doing.
Cry more.
So,
Stay.
what if you didn't hear what the lady said? She told the group that's sponsoring him, I think they make knives. They're called like Hex Knives or something like that. She just told them they need to drop him. So she wants to hurt him financially for what he's saying. What did he say that was so bad? Let's go to the next video.
Stay at Home Dad Chronicles.
More like boring bullshit babbling by a based-ass Brillo-built butt plug. Chronicles.
Why is this cape-wearing Captain Cut Clout chasing cockless cornball B-Rad from Malibu's most wanted wannabe bitch-made butt-fucking bum tag me in a video spitting straight ass? See, I can do that too. What are you doing, kid? Is this your shtick, just saying a whole bunch of nothing as fast as you can? And I thought my content was stupid. And don't call mine boring when we have this ocean gap between us there, sir. And why are you out here simping for this chick anyway? I'm not one to judge, man, but trying to crack coked out chameleons is crazy work. Damn, this is kind of fun, actually. I'm not going to show the rest of his video because it's all the same shit, different bitch. Bro really thought he had some big reveals. I'll repost it and tag him, though, so it's easy to find if you actually want to sit through that insufferable trash. I guess I'll do him a favor, he looks like he needs it. Already getting ratioed on his own post, and I haven't even done anything yet. It's insane that you chose to align yourself with Skeletor knowing full well she's a blatant liar. And I know you know because you stitched that video. I guess you don't care about morals as much as you say you do. Bro chose the wrong side and the wrong guy for the wrong reasons, on purpose. All that yapping for nothing. Why did you even choose to insert yourself into this? You want some clout? You want some attention? You trying to white knight? You want to wrap your lips around my meat and recite Rap God at full speed since you like talking so fast? I'm sure it'll tickle, but no thank you, I'm not interested. And you're probably going to find out that your followers and mine are a little bit different. And that's why I love them. They've made 2 people that I know of shut their accounts down on their own accord. Anybody coming at me now is just practically tying themselves up, throwing themselves in the lion den covered in meat. And to be honest, pander bear simps like you are actually worse than these women coming after me. Co-signing their bullshit is where they find the audacity. And it's hilarious that your profile on Instagram says that the bullies aren't bullied enough. Those who know, well, they know. Hot chicken summer salad. Throw some dill weed on this too, it's really good. Stay in your lane, stay at your depth there, Grimoire. Or whatever the fuck that is. Merch link in bio. Love you all. Hope to see you for the next one.
Dude, so they even sent the simps to come after him. The white knights. Now, why would a man have a problem with anything he said? Unless, you know what, the only thing worse than a stupid feminist is a stupid feminist man. Ugh, they disgust me, dude. So you can't cheat. These people are trying to get clout off this guy's name, making a video because they don't like what he's saying. He's attacking their master, which is women. And then he responds and he goes scorched earth on this dude. And he's been doing this people keep coming at him. And you got to ask yourself, what about what he's saying makes them so mad? Let's go to the next one.
Stay. A lady with a nose ring that hates me incoming.
I find it so ironic that this guy decides to double down.
Shit, at this point, I'm pretty sure I'm octupling down. And how do you have time to make an entire video on me if being a stay-at-home is as hard as you say?
Right.
After he was, called out for his misogynistic...
Do me a favor. Staple that nose ring to your knees and do sit-ups real quick. Always trying to make something out of nothing.
And his 14-year-old daughter decided she was going to be like, hey, daddy dearest, this is bullshit.
Thinking that a 14-year-old girl's opinion on being a stay-at-home parent holds any weight is egregious work.
We exposed his 14-year-old daughter's profile when that is not.
Why are they going for his kids?
You did, though. I mean, when you push a minor child's social media account further into the ether to better suit your needs, I'd call that exploitation. Call me crazy, I don't know, but it seems that way.
He has 3 older children that apparently want nothing to do with Daddy Sauce.
Did you have a muscle memory glitch there? I know you made this before I made a video explaining this, but this just further proves that you should probably keep your meat smoker shut about things you don't know about or understand. I feel like I'm Eminem in 8 Mile. Fuck this battle, I don't want to win, I'm outie, here. Tell these people something they don't already know about me. You do know that if you feel the need to attack somebody's character that you've already lost, right?
I should have just shut my fucking mouth.
Yes, you should have.
I should have just shut my fucking mouth. Instead, double down and thinks that this is still going to go his way. It's not, my dude. It's not.
It sounds like it is.
Fuck, it is. Almost 500,000 followers since I've made that video. Brands kicking down my DM doors to try to do business with me. Printing companies blowing me up wanting to set up my merch store. It couldn't go more my way, sweetheart. I made sure to tag you on TikTok and Instagram. I don't want you to miss this.
That looked good, too.
Well, never mind about TikTok. It looks like you blocked me on there. Looks like you got untough real fast when you saw what was going on. Moral of the story, just stop attacking people. I love you all. Hope to see you for the next one. A lady...
Dude, so what I don't like is this, and this is the problem with feminism. You have women that will go scorched earth on you, but if you fight back in the slightest bit, then they play victim. So they found his children and they found their accounts and they tried to use that to expose him. What type of unhinged people? Obviously, if you're a stay-at-home mom and you have that much time to go and find people's kids and their social media accounts, then your job is too easy. That's insane. Why would you, over a slight disagreement, you want to find his kids' stuff? That's borderline insanity. You know, like, dude, you would do something like that, and then when you get mad, why are you so mad? Well, people are coming for his family over these little funny videos he makes. You know what? Go ahead. You can play the next one.
Stay-at-home Dad Chronicles.
Welcome back to another episode of Drip My Saucy Dad Chronicles.
I can already tell this is going to be good.
Where I cook something and tell you how stay-at-home moms are just little bitches.
Rough start, but you know, let's push through.
I have 12 kids in there.
Damn, 5 is the new 12.
I homeschool my kids. Shut up! I homeschool. It's not that hard, ladies. Make a list, okay? Keep the house clean, take care of the kids, cook, all right? Laundry.
Yes.
When you get home, I'm gonna crack that Kraken. Oh yeah, look at this big meat. We only cook big meats around here. Because my wife, she likes to make the mattress go bump, bump, bump. Oh yeah.
She does. She does.
But stay-at-home moms, stop being a bitch. It's not hard. If you ever need any advice, just come to me because I know it all. I can teach you how to do your job in 5 minutes. Peace out.
8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Solid. I mean, the detail, the Eagles gear, the beard, just putting on the gloves. I enjoyed that. That was hilarious. I'd go so far to say this is the best video I've seen of me so far. You didn't do the knife flip, though. I had to deduct points for that. Other than that, though, chef's kiss. I do see that you're getting torn up in the comments. Guys, give her a break. give her a break. You got to give her credit for that creativity. But for real moms, peace and blessings to you, and I love you all. Hope to see you for the next one. Stay at home.
So he has a good attitude about it. So people are making fun of him. He ain't just going at everybody. He laughs at... I always respect people who can laugh at themselves, because they don't take themselves so serious that they have this pride issue where it's like, you can never make fun of me. That's not how he is. Dude's pretty cool. He seems like a cool dude, man.
Yeah, he does.
He seems like a cool guy. And the problem I have is, if you have somebody who just say you even disagree with him and you disagree with some of the things he said, is it that serious? Is it really that serious for you? Do you have that much smoke for the women that are doing this, who embarrass their husbands? This is insane. Like, his videos are pretty entertaining. He's hitting all the marks. He's cooking so you can see the stuff he's cooking. He's telling funny stories. He's making good jokes. He can laugh at himself when he does something silly. Dude it seems like he's going places as far as a influencer or entertainer or a video creator, whatever you want to call it. He's doing his job, man. Let's go to the next video. Oh, we already know what's coming.
Stay at home dad chronicles. You pissed everyone.
I was laughing my ass off while she was making fun of you.
As soon as I saw him, I knew this was going to be some bullshit.
Real dads don't get mad when people point out their deficiencies.
I don't remember getting mad, and I don't remember having deficiencies.
I'm a dad. I take care of my kids. Shit's hard.
So then you have the deficiencies?
And I have help.
Good. Looks like you need it. We had many victories in the defeat of Kendall Brown. We got over 70,000 followers when I fried her the first time, and over 39,000 when I fried her the second time. So far. To celebrate, we're fixing up Lily Phillips. She was definitely in shit shape, but we're going to get her right. Then I'm going to give her a good test run. I got some pork ribeye sitting in the rub that I showed you how to make. I got some cheddar brats because a couple of my kids love those. And we're going to hit her with some asparagus. Nothing too fancy. Just a light go to start things off. I want to thank each and every single one of you that had my back. I could not have done this without you. People like Kendall need to understand that it's not 2015 anymore, and that cancel culture is part of a dying cult. Everybody should be able to speak their mind and have their opinions.
True.
More great news, I've dropped 3 more pounds in the quest to get 160 lean. That's 20 pounds total. Still going strong. My wife also told me to thank you guys from her. She said she's proud of you and me and this community that I've built for us. It's given me hope that there's still some sanity in this world, and that maybe there's still more good people in it than bad. And I feel blessed that I'm finding my people. Pork ribeye is a very underrated cut of meat. You guys have got to try it. But I ran into Gino's dad today, and he gave me the best news of all. Update on Gino, he is on the upswing and he is walking again. Yes! Blessed news for Gino. Looks like he's gonna kick cancer's ass. A lot of people have been asking me what knife set I've been using, and they said they want me to do an ad for them. So I'll throw that in the middle of my next video. Thank you all again for helping me fight back. I love each and every one of you kings and queens. And don't let anybody tell you what you can or can't think or feel. Love you all. See you for the next one.
So he had a neighbor that had cancer, and he went out of his way to try to raise money for the little kid. And people still, this goes to show you, man, like, I don't know if the dude's a Christian. I don't know if he's a conservative. I don't know if he's what side of the aisle he's on. But when you see people that are just generally good people, and then you also see a group of people that hate on them simply for a disagreement. It's all right to have a disagreement. It's even all right to voice your disagreement. But to hate on somebody and try to get his sponsors taken away, that shows you, man, a lot of these women are completely and men are completely unhinged. And liberalism and feminism is destroying their minds from the inside out. Go to the next one.
Stay at fucking home dad chronicles. Apparently I got the attention of somebody named Stay at Home Tom. Let's see what Tommy Boy has to say. My life is a vacation.
Do you understand that not everybody has the same lived experience as a middle-aged white man?
Shut the fuck up, Tom. You've already served your purpose. Anyways, we completed the quest for 50K last night, and thanks to Tommy Boy, we got a huge boost to the quest for 100K. I'm making bacon jalapeno cheddar bread, but the kids call it super bread for some reason. I don't know why. Just a word to the wise. Watch out for these virtue signaling, pandering, performative content creators.
Yep. Follow-up question. Is it with the same woman?
Yes, although I fail to see the relevance of that, or why you're so worried about where my meat's been. That's not weird or anything. I can't really say that I approve of the company you keep either. Threatening to make a false CPS report because your feelings were hurt? Come on,
crazy.
Man. That's a crime, by the way. Although I do have a sneaking suspicion that it's you on a burner account so you can say what you want to say behind a veil. Either way, your wife, your mom, your friend, probably you. Pretty disgusting behavior. What are you going to tell them? That I make my kids all these home-cooked meals? That I wake up every single day at 4 a.m. to clean my house before I wake up my kids for homeschool? Spend all day, every day, with every single one of my 5 children? That I go a lot of sleepless nights to make these videos so I can finally retire my wife so she can have her dream? That I use my platform to raise money for a child with cancer? Over $1,500, by the way. I'm pretty proud of that. I'm going to keep cooking. And I'm going to keep giving my opinion. And I'm not going to stop until I reach my goal. So go ahead and do your little get back video. Talk to yourself on social media. I've already wasted too much time on you already.
Yeah, I'm not like understanding this macho stay-at-home dad take.
Shocker. You said macho, not me. Bacon jalapeno cheddar bread. Cry some more if you want. I'm busy. Stay at fuck.
Dude, every video I've seen, I was like, I gotta cover this dude. Because it's insane to me that you can not like him. How do you not like a dude like that? Not only can he cook, he's doing things for a good purpose, and y'all sit up here and you're attacking him, and he's not even coming back at you with the hatred you're giving him. You're sending, people are trying to send CPS to his house. You messing with his kids? Come on, man. This shows you how evil. And you know all these people are liberal. You know they are. Let's not play this game of, oh, it might be this and it might. No, we know these people are super left-wing nut jobs. They're simply mad because he's exposing how good his life is. Being a stay-at-home dad. And he's doing it better than women. That's what they're mad about. He's cooking on a personal chef level. And he's cleaning the house every day, and he's homeschooling his 5 children every day, and taking them to where they need to go, being a good father, and they hate it because now when they see him, what's their excuse for not doing good? What's their excuse for the house not being clean? What's their excuse for why they can't homeschool the kids, and they send all the kids to public school and the house is still dirty? What's their excuse for why they can't make home-cooked meals? There is no excuse. We just let feminists and feminism control American society to the point where we can request nothing, absolutely nothing of a woman. You are evil if you have any requirements for your wife. You can play the next video.
Stay at Home Dad Chronicles.
Soda.
Stay at Home Dad Chronicles. And my life is a vacation.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Ooh, spicy.
Men get one life skill like cooking, act like they're the prize.
I never said anything about being a prize.
This one's kind of low.
I got my life on easy mode. That sounds like it came from your head, Cupcake.
Thanksgiving dinner on a Tuesday, you really do not need to be doing all that.
Turkey is a very affordable, easy prepared source of protein. Great for chili, soup, salad, sandwiches.
You know what? We'll pause this one and go to the next.
You only think it's good
because
for
I can't.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they ain't not gonna be able to hear it.
Step your game up, honey.
Yeah, you can pause and just go to the next video.
Stay at Home Dad Chronicles. Scarlett Longstreet, I know that you did not have the gall to turn around and play victim. You attack me, unprovoked. I make a response in a cool, calm, and collective demeanor. You publicly insult my followers, and you have the entitlement to think that you're not going to get some backlash? It's giving schoolyard bully gets his ass beat on the playground and then goes and cries to the teacher. Strong and independent, my ball sack. I also love how you cherry picked the worst comments you got from the men and completely ignored the women that were absolutely giving you the business and tried to spin it as a big misogynist campaign. I know you might not be used to this, but what you're getting right now, it's called consequences. And stop making it seem like I tried to weaponize my audience. I never put a call to action against you or told anybody to do anything. Did you think that maybe they didn't like what you did? And you are the problem? Of course you didn't, because that would be called accountability. And we all knew you weren't going to accept that. But doubling down and crying is crazy work. You were the cause, this is the effect. Fuck around and find out.
Yep.
I have always only defended myself against scrutiny, and I've always done it the right way. Did you think that maybe people are tired of this misandrist fucking slop that you put out? I, for one, am happy to see this pushback against all this man hate from men and women.
Yep.
All you're doing is making yourself and everybody else miserable. I get threats and insults all the time. You know what I don't do? Cry about it like a little bitch. So how about instead of whining, you think about what you did wrong. Learn from it and don't repeat your mistakes. I'd say ask all the other content creators who tried me, but I see them in your comment section whining and crying too. Bunch of pussies. Love you all. Hope to see you for the next one.
I think that was that girl's face with the fat face that we had on the in the thumbnail.
Okay.
She kept coming at him, and she even tried to she had a video where she tried to get all of his sponsors taken out. She tried to get that, and the thing about it that kind of angered me was she went out of her way to tell her fans, listen, here are his sponsors, and she listed them by name. And then she said, contact them all so we can get all of them removed. And I thought that was complete insanity, dude. Why would anyone do that? Over a dispute. Over disagreeing with somebody. I can't fathom doing that to somebody. So you go to this next part of this video and you kind of wonder, this is why. And this is a video from Effective Purpose. Why do you see these type of men, especially because it's a lot of men who came at him too. Why do you see a lot of men have a problem with him? And let's play this video because I think he explains it well.
Romance. We want the embrace of a woman to satisfy our longing and for her beauty and affection to fill our lungs with the breath of life once more. But not just any woman can satisfy all those hungers. Oh no. No, these cravings are more than just physical or practical in nature, and we know it. That means we also know that a mere mortal, corporeal woman can't satisfy them, especially not the dirty, broken human women that surround us. We need something much more. Some might even say, more than a woman. We need a divine being, an angel, one that's spotless and pure. This is why men write all the actual romance movies and songs, the ones that elevate women to divine status, while women write stuff like WAP. This is also why men tend to glaze up women with compliments that everyone else knows she doesn't deserve, like, oh, she's my better half, when she's clearly a frigid witch. She's the most beautiful woman in the world when she's grossly overweight, or I'm just lucky to have her, when she offers nothing and demands everything. He needs to see her as way more than she actually is, because that's the only way for her approval to be worth enough to satisfy him. He has to elevate her in order to elevate what he receives from her. So those compliments are for his benefit, not hers. If you don't believe me, just watch how often women will kind of shift in discomfort when they hear their men say stuff like that. She's not enjoying it, while he clearly is. To most men, women aren't just a way to secure their bloodline. Women are their emotional salvation, and they need to see those women as angelic higher beings in order to get that salvation from them. That's why anytime you present men with hard evidence that women are not angels, they won't just dismiss that evidence. They will attack you personally for bringing it up, because you just attacked his divine creature. You attacked his emotional salvation.
His God.
Side note, this is also why they'll defend their wife when they clearly don't even like her. They're not protecting her, they're protecting the last shreds of positive feelings they can get from having her around.
I'm gonna pause it.
And by the way, this
is a major problem. If you wonder, man, why did all these men come at him like that? Why did all these simp, liberal, blue-haired type men keep coming at him? And it's because when you attack a woman, you are attacking their God. Y'all don't understand what I mean. I'm not talking about figurative. They worship women. And when women say being a stay-at-home mom is this higher level above you creating and building and protecting society, they said, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. It was this song we used to sing back in the day. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. From the bottom of my heart. That's how they singing to these women. Whatever these women say, they have to look at them from the perspective of they're on the pedestal and they should be listened to because they elevated them to elevate themselves. What I mean by that is they put women on such a pedestal to make themselves feel better about the choices they made. I really love my wife and she's the best thing I've ever done, because they know in the back of their mind, if she's horrible, I've chosen horribly and it reflects bad on me. And so you got these women right out there attacking this stay-at-home father, but he's not the only one they attacked. If you want to go to the next video, there's a guy named Stay-at-Home Chad, and he did something similar where he said, and he talked about his life as a stay-at-home father. They didn't like him either. Let's play his video.
Okay, well, imagine carrying the baby. Parenting is only hard if you're doing it right. This is such an adorable sentiment, but so incredibly wrong. It's only hard if you're doing it right. I've had hard jobs, and it's because I didn't give a fuck. Those jobs got hard because I would just be afraid I was going to get fired constantly and fuck up everything all the time and feel like a failure. Those were the hardest jobs when I was doing it terribly poorly. The easiest jobs I've ever had are ones that I've just absolutely cruised through. Sales, I'd go in there and become a rainmaker immediately, and it was so easy, and everyone else was like, I can't fucking do it. My last job that I had in outside sales had a turnover rate of 98% in the first 2 weeks. And I was great at it. It was fucking awesome, dude. And I thought it was the easiest job on the planet. But someone would cry sometimes. They'd cry because they were getting told to fuck off on a regular basis. That type of thing didn't bother me. Sometimes this is not the answer. Sometimes you're not built for a job. It's not for you. And it's a hard pill to swallow when that job is rearing your own children. The end.
So, did he say anything wrong there? I don't think so. I don't disagree with much of what he said. I think he's talking about his perspective on why some people have it hard to be parents. Shouldn't be much to disagree with, right? These are the focal points of a lot of his videos. He has some other videos on his same channel where he's talking about cars. But he makes a video every once in a while and he's talking about how it is as he is a stay-at-home father. Let's play the next one.
We got a comment saying, he's making me look like a slacker.
You are a slacker.
Ouch.
No, I'm joking. I talked about this is my wife. Don't make me rebuke you. No, you do a great job. And I'm not just saying that because she's on. I'm saying that I would not have married her if I thought she would be a horrible mother. She's quite possibly the best, right? So, and y'all think I'm simping. Yeah, I am simping a little bit. Come and stop me. Let's play the next video real quick.
when there's an explosion between
You
a
could cook better
Sephora and a
chicken.
haunted doll factory.
Who stays home isn't always the same thing as being a stay-at-home parent, and I think this guy may be a really good representation of that.
This should be fun. So she's going to go and say, hey, they're not the same thing because I've made up words that make them different. Well, Timu Morticia Adams, please pontificate.
The first video he made about this topic did really well, so it seems like he's made bashing stay-at-home mothers his entire personality.
This is rich coming from you. Your entire page is bashing men. My
Sure,
best
yep.
performing video from last month was about dirt bikes, and my best performing video of all time was about adopting puppies. Isn't that funny? My stuff actually has pillars. There's also music and stand-up comedy and all of the billion things that I actually do.
And I was really disappointed that I kept seeing people in the comments who were saying that being a stay-at-home parent is only hard if you hate your kids. But we all know that that's not true.
Translation: you're a crestfallen because when you step outside of your boilerplate dogshit arguments and your own echo chamber, you see that you get absolutely ratioed. Proceed.
The love you have for your kids is part of what makes parenting so hard, because you feel the weight of their safety now and concern for their happiness later in every decision you make.
What?
This one's actually a valid point. Just yesterday, my son, I was deciding, should he wear the red Chuck Taylors or should I put him in these brown loafers? And my wife said, what's taking so long? And I said, I'm deciding whether our son is going to be a surgeon or a fucking garbage man.
Yeah.
So if you could please step off for 2 seconds, you do not understand the weight that I am under right now. So proceed.
He's not the stressed out, burnt out version of a stay-at-home parent because he's not responsible for any of the stuff that burns you up.
Apparently you didn't know this. I'm actually also the breadwinner. So I'm the one who brings in all of the money. My wife is the director of a nonprofit, and her work obligation at that nonprofit is 12 hours a week. And she does it because she's a good person. That's the only reason she does it. She tries to help out the community. I'm still the one who checks all of the accounts. I'm the one who's checking in to see what the actual income flow is looking like. I'm the one who has to manage.
They love to think every girl's a boss babe.
So yeah, I'd have no idea. I'd have no idea what it looks like to do all of this super easy shit, but also manage all of these streams and a couple books of business. Go ahead.
Home parent is hard, but everything you're responsible for outside of the parenting is what makes it even harder. You're a cook, a maid, a teacher, a therapist, an administrator, an errand runner, a DoorDash driver. You're whatever anyone needs you to be in that moment, and that can get really exhausting really quick.
Nope, it doesn't. Also, can we add fabricator, welder, carpenter, heavy equipment operator? I'm forklift certified. I don't know if you knew that.
You want to
Also,
pause that?
landscaper.
I hate when women do this thing where they're like, I'm a Uber driver, a personal chef, a carpet cleaner, a wall washer. So everything, single step you take, every little step I take is a different job. Come on now. I hate you. You're just convoluting the whole process. Imagine if men thought like that. I'm a personal chef when I grill. And when I protect my children, I run a whole safety unit that has to be paid for. And when I go to the bank, I'm a banker. When I get our finances in order, I'm an accountant. When I clean the car, I'm a car cleaning specialist. A maintenance man. Like, you can't think like that. Men don't think like that because we aren't that selfish. When I do something to help around the house, I don't be thinking, I wonder how much my wife would pay me for this. I just be thinking it need to get done, so I'm going to do it. And that's part of the reason why they're so bitter. If you go around the house and every time you have to clean up after somebody, your kids or your husband, you say, I'm cleaning up after him and I should be getting paid for this. Remember, you got a roof over your head he paid for. Remember, you got a family to clean up after. Your perspective is wrong. You can play it.
Design, architect, pharmacist, because I did administer Tylenol to one of my children yesterday.
Same exact
caretaker, master chef, karate instructor, because we did a little bit of that dicking around upstairs yesterday. It's endless, and I'm exhausted.
This guy can mock
See
the
how
mental
dumb that
load, but you
sounds?
don't know the first thing about the mental load if you think that parenting only consists of keeping your kids alive and making sure they have fun.
What an absolute delight. Am I right? And also with the mental load, I don't know if you knew this, I also mock hobgoblins and wizards and a bunch of other things that don't exist. So, yeah, I know it's horrific. What a delight, by the way. What are you're having a good time? You see her immediately start boiling over with rage because it's so much fun over here and she's having such a miserable time because she's stressing herself out over things that aren't real.
He talks about the splash pad and the aquarium, but don't forget that most families don't have the financial resources to do activities.
So
and you can only
what?
go to the aquarium so many times. It's easy.
2 points on that statement. Firstly, I remember it's true that some families don't have the financial resources. I remember when the government issued my kids and I was like, what the hell? I don't have the money for this shit. Oh, just kidding. I planned on it and carved out a little bit of a life for myself before I brought other human beings into the world.
That's funny.
Secondly, with the aquarium, you're right. That was my plan. I said, you know what? I'm going to have these kids, and from day one until they turn 18 and I kick them out the door, we're going to the fucking aquarium every single day. And I don't care how sick you get of sharks. Idiot.
And I assume that's what you are, because you just said that you've been home for 6 weeks. So maybe don't attack parents in the trenches when you're still in the honeymoon phase of raising your kids.
Being the trenches. Oh yeah, the other day I remember I got up and I had to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is just like Nam. Blood and guts and arms, and my brother's dying in front of my eyes. The self-importance is bizarre.
Yes.
To me, dude. And what you're doing is disastrous for society, by the way. I am on here trying to bring accountability and showing people that this is pretty fucking easy if you don't overstress and overthink everything, and it makes your life better. And my DMs
don't want
are
that.
flooded with people agreeing with that sentiment. Stay-at-home moms, by the way. What I could do is I could come on here and amass 2 million people, 2 million of the most easily influenced people, co-sign all of their bullshit, and continue to have terrible lives as a result. So enjoy. I'm glad that you're making a bunch of money on here, but it's predatory what you're doing, and you're scooping up money based on the misery of people by pandering to them. So have a nice day. The end.
Easy, because being a stay-at-home dad is the easiest job.
And you know what he's done? That's an unforgivable sin. He showed them that they could be doing the same thing he could do. And a lot of women have a problem with this. Anytime you fix the problem, that's an issue. Because they want you to just recognize how hard it is for them to do it. No. And then you say, hey, you know, the problem can be fixed this easily. No, I don't want it fixed. I want to be mad. I want to be mad about it. Well, that's retarded. Let's stop. You know, like, that's what he did that was unforgivable. Let's play his next video.
Life as a stay-at-home mom is so much easier when you have a great partner and financial stability. I love it, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love this point. This is a fantastic point, but it reminded me of another one I've been thinking about. These women, in my comments at least, come on and they say, well, I just want a good partner. And it's like, well, you don't. You want someone to partner up with you when its traditional gender roles are focused on the female things, where it's like, hey, can you help me fold the laundry and do the dishes? But as soon as those oil changes and fixing the siding or getting up on the roof to do something come along, yeah, I ain't doing all that shit. So what they want is someone who does it performatively, but only in their favor. Isn't that weird? And then when accountability comes along, they're going to go ahead and dodge all of that too and say, he just wasn't a good partner. It's like, well, when's the last time you picked up a spanner and jumped underneath the Lexus to see if you could fix this thing? Because I'm willing to bet it's almost never. And I'm sure there'll be outliers who are going to come after me in the comments and go, I did a motor swap on a D-Series Honda a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I'm sure that y'all exist, but that is not commonplace. The end.
That's true. Let's play his next video because it just keeps gradually getting worse and worse.
I wonder how much his wife is doing prep work for him. Sounds like he's just grilling. My wife doesn't cook. She never has. She doesn't like it, and she's not very good at it. So I cook all of the meals. Legitimately, all of them. I will tell you something really quickly, just for your own good. Every time someone looks for an excuse as to why I have it easy, it's projection. You guys are wondering why is it so difficult for me, and rather than trying to fix why it's difficult, I'll tell you why. It's fucking pretty simple. You guys are online consistently in a gigantic echo chamber full of people who, when you do something that's loser behavior, tell you that you're empowered and strong and independent.
Yep.
So rather than fixing your problems, you look to see where my problems are. I've had a rough life. Like, it's been pretty gnarly, dude. I was in a coma. I had to relearn how to walk and talk. And I had a nasty accident where I had a 12-hour reconstructive surgery on my face. And do you know what I did? I curled up in a ball and I cried about it and looked to digital prostitutes for advice on how to fix. No, I'm just kidding. I just put my head down and did the work, dude. And finding accountability, as I played a part in a couple of these things, was the most rewarding and freeing thing that I've ever done in my life. Take a look in the mirror and see why you suck, rather than trying to grab people like fucking crabs in a bucket and drag them down with you.
That's true. You know why people hate him? Is because he's speaking the truth. And he's giving you lessons that take away your lack of accountability. He's telling you to be accountable for yourself. Work hard, be accountable, and that if you're going to do something, do the best you can at it and don't stress over it. So when a lot of women are like, well, you can't relate because you're not a stay-at-home mom. Well, he's a stay-at-home dad and he's doing a great job. Then it's like, wait a second. You can't say it's easy. You can't say that you know how to, you found the key to doing it correctly. Because that would mean I have it easy. Yeah. And that's why they hate him. Go to the next one for me.
So I noticed the mockery doesn't include those days when you're throwing up and your kids are throwing up and the AC goes out and the Lord himself reaches down from the clouds and flicks your wiener. Yeah, dude. Like this, of course, this is fucking horrific. Everyone's shitting all over the place and your kids shit themselves in the waiting room. That hasn't happened yet. If it does, it'll probably, to be honest, because I did laugh a little bit when I read this. I will film it because it's going to be fucking epic. But no, how often does this happen to you? Like 12 times a year? Holy Moses. You guys should probably get checked out or something. They don't really get sick that often. Neither do I. We're pretty healthy. I think maybe it's because I keep a clean house instead of sitting around all day and doing God knows what. But it's always all these what ifs, dude. Yeah, what if? What if this? What if? What if frogs had wings? They wouldn't bump their butt cheeks when they hopped. That'd be pretty cool, huh? But yeah, all these what ifs are nothing burgers. This is a blip on the radar of your life, and eventually it'll just be a funny story, and it's a way for your kids and you to trauma bond. So get over it. The end.
It's true. Everything he's saying is true. So they coming to him with all these excuses. They complaining and making these comments about what would have happened if you have a bad day. Then you have a bad day and you get over it. The fact that these people are mad that he's making their job look easy instead of learning shows you that they're part of the problem. You want to go to the next one?
Uh-oh, I found another one. This is going to be a good one. That is the easiest job on the planet today.
Oh, is it, Chad? Is it the easiest job in the world?
Good God, Montgomery Burt. What was that? Is it? Is it? For context, that video was me making fun of other guys in sales, saying how hard that job was too. Also, I've never sold solar in my entire life, you idiot. Keep going, though.
The day that you had with your child, that you spent every waking moment from 5:45 engaged with your child. You crushed it, man. Good job.
Thanks, Ralph Wiggum. I appreciate that. Who are you to talk to anyone like this? Good job. You... I feel like I could kick you through a field goal upright with like zero effort. You are so unbelievably uninteresting and annoying. And I know exactly what you're doing, and so do you. You spent your entire life not garnishing favor from women, so you've decided to make it your personality and pander to them online.
That's what you're doing.
Someone that they all collectively hate. That's for that sole purpose. Look at me, I'm a good one, I'm an ally. You fucking suck, dude. Keep going.
Yep.
But to come on to here and to say that this is the easiest job in the world, I don't believe that you believe that. I really don't.
Well, luckily, and this is not just according to me, it's according to your metrics, almost no one cares what you believe. You think. Ever. I don't believe you. Who the fuck are you, bro? I've had so many jobs over the course of my life because I get bored so incredibly easily. They've gotten progressively easier because I've become more efficient and better at things, and my knowledge base has grown like exponentially. This is one of the easiest, if not the easiest, because I enjoy it so much. People say if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life, right?
That's true.
I love this more than anything that I've ever done in my life, and it's much, much more important.
Or putting the value of work outside of the home as more valuable than the work within the home. And that is concerning.
All right, this is the part where the video gets serious. I gotta lower the intonation on my voice. I gotta get my microphone and come in real close so people know that I'm serious. Don't forget the trap music backdrop.
Yeah.
That's also very important. Shut the fuck up. I never said
What a
that.
clown.
I've never said that. This is just fan fiction at this point. Well, I was going to continue bashing your bizarre face and body, but I found out something just now while I was researching which fictional characters you look like. It looks like your son has severe autism, and that sucks tremendously. Really sorry to hear that, dude.
Then he shouldn't be
My original
comparing
point was
himself.
just to make fun of you, but now I've shifted gears. If everyone can go follow this guy, be nice to him. He's fucking dealing with a lot, dude. And see if there's something you can do by donating money or some of your time to a charity that deals with autism. So, sorry I called you Rebel Wiggum. I kind of stand by that one, to be honest, and I still don't like you, but I hope that this video can give you a boost and get your son some help. The end.
See, dude is a nice guy, man. If you notice anything about like men, for men who have good character, integrity, stuff like that, not only can we take a joke, but when we hit you and you get hurt, or we see that you hurt, or we see you a hurting person, we'll help you back up. And that's what I think he's doing. He's like extending the olive branch, saying, "Hey, man, this guy's life is kind of hard. He got a child with autism." You think that these liberal men would extend that same olive branch to him, though? I don't think they would, because they have so much hatred in their heart. If his son suffered from something like that, they would make a video saying, "Ha ha, that's what you get." This is how evil they are. How do I know? Because they pew-pewed Charlie Kirk, and he was the nicest conservative we had. And these same people got on the internet and laughed about it. They couldn't stop laughing. They still do. You know, so it's one of those things where you're like, yo, I'm glad there's still good people left. But in some instances, from my point of view, with people who have conservative values and Christian values like me, I think we do need to get a little meaner. I think we do, because it's getting to a point where you can't even, like, these people will take advantage of your kindness and pull their pants down and take a dump on all your legacy if they could. We can play the next one.
Yeah, because holding it out your hand is the biggest problem. Riding without a shirt on is not.
It's the one up,
You
I
will
think.
fall, your skin will be...
2-year-old boys, it feels harder than any job I've ever had. That's because you've never had a hard job. It's also by... Trigger warning. Extreme bird hand usage incoming. I found another one of these. Here we go.
Being a stay-at-home mom is objectively hard, and do not let a man tell you otherwise.
I'm a man, and it's easy as shit. Bird hand fight.
Chad here is saying that being a stay-at-home parent is not difficult. It is only difficult because, one, women have never had to do hard labor in their lives.
Mostly true.
Two, it is only hard because you make it hard, right? He is saying it is only difficult because women make it difficult.
Let's take a break really quick. Go to your search bar, search stay-at-home mom, watch the first 10 videos, and find me a single example of someone who's not making their life fucking terrible by overthinking and overcomplicating everything.
Yep.
His wife, when she goes to the pool with her kids, she brings a bunch of bags, towels, water, snacks, sunscreen, all the things that they need.
Yeah, it
When
seemed
he
like the
goes to
volume
pool with
kinda
his
low.
kids, he just brings the kids in their bathing suit. No water, no towels, no snacks. They'll figure it out later.
We are going to the pool 3
Okay.
minutes from my front door, not on the Oregon Trail. And I do bring all the things that they need. I bring sunscreen and I bring diapers for the boy. There's a water fountain there. I don't know if you knew this, but you can get water out of those. I also don't bring food to restaurants because I go there and they have it. We don't need a fucking 1,000 pounds of accoutrement to survive this harrowing journey to the pool. I apply sunscreen. That sunscreen fits in my pocket. I need 0 bags. Next.
layer he doesn't even touch on because he probably doesn't even realize it exists is the fact that men and women are held to very different standards when it comes to parenting. Women are held
No.
to incredibly high standards.
Always with the condescension, dude.
Yep.
He must not know anything. He's physically capable. He's probably a fucking idiot. I went to school, dickhead. Like, I know about all this stuff. And who's holding you to these standards? Because it ain't me. I don't look around and go, ugh, what is that, a fucking knockoff bag she has for her towel? I've never thought that in my entire life. The standard that you guys are talking about is created by you. It's a snake eating its own tail. You guys are the ones who are judging one another and holding each other to these impossible standards. We don't give a fuck, dude. We just show up and try to have a good time and make sure that our kids do the same. Continue.
Another layer I do want to talk about here, which is that men tend to move the goalpost on women.
Oh my gosh.
Are we, this is just fantasy land
Yes.
now? All right, cool, y'all, sit tight. I'm going to tell you a great story about a dragon who made magic smoke. Anyways, here's the start and finish of all this. I'm starting to do bird hands now. What the fuck? Is it contagious? Good Lord. I show up for my kids. I am present emotionally and physically. I play with them everywhere that we go, and I take really good care of them. What I bring to the table is experience and memories and how to be an effective, decent human being. What y'all do is you wear the right outfits, you make sure they're wearing the right outfits, you have the right bags, you have the right water bottles, and the right types of snacks so that you can perform for your friends. The easiest way to boil this down is I always see them eating veggie straws. This is you guys in a nutshell. You're a veggie straw. You present outwardly that you're healthy and good, but when in fact you're nothing but empty carbs. You guys are showing up for other moms. And that's one of the biggest problems that I see.
Yep.
I have eyes on all of these friend groups and mom groups that I get to go out and do these things with. And what they do is they deposit their children at the pool, they sit on their phone, or they talk to their friends about some fucking nonsense TV show while I'm doing cannonballs and fucking throwing my kids in the air and having a good time. They have sunscreen, and I live in Texas. You don't need a fucking towel. The end.
They hate the fact that he's doing their job better than them. And what I had to point out with all these videos is the reason why this situation even exists is feminism. Feminism has taught women that their value comes from competing with men rather than just doing their job and appreciating the situation that they're in. What women have done is say, men have went to war, but us staying home from war is just as traumatic. No, it's not. Getting your head blown half off, coming back home, and you have shell shock like they did in World War II. Living life in an actual trench for months at a time where your feet turn green. That's what the men were dealing with. Vietnam, where they would run somewhere and it would be a trap with spikes in it. And they would actually smear feces, human feces, on the spikes so that when people fell down and hit the spikes, they would get diseases and infections. And men were dealing with that to fight for our freedom. And women, because of feminism, are saying, we deal with trauma too. No. No, you don't. And that's the same argument that we're having with stay-at-home moms. And here's the thing. If you were to put things in their proper place, men would say all around the world, we appreciate stay-at-home moms. It's the most important job in the world. Doesn't mean it's the hardest. But because it's so important, we need to give appreciation for the wives that do it. We need to give appreciation like my wife who homeschooled the kids. But when they don't have appreciation for you, that's when you see these type of problems. Because with feminism going around, women will get out of their pocket and they'll say things like, I have a mental load and therefore you working at the steel mill, you being a truck driver, you being a firefighter is nothing compared to what I do. When you get back home from your job, you should help me with my job. You see how stupid that is? So now, because of feminism telling you you have a mental load and your capacity is at 0.01 to carry that mental load, he has to come home from working hard and then help you. And if he doesn't, he's not a good husband. But you don't go and be a firefighter with him. You don't go kicking down doors with him. You don't go to the steel mill or the coal mine. or being a carpenter. You don't do that stuff to help him. And then on top of that, feminism says you better not fix him anything to eat while he goes, because that is being a slave to your husband. Even though you got to fix food for everybody else, you might as well put some aside for him. Nope, that's too much to ask for feminists in our feminist society. And it's disgusting because these two men have proven. I hope they get more views. I hope they get even more popular than they already are. And they're pretty popular. I hope they get 100 times more popular, because what it's doing is it's destroying feminism from the inside out. Not only can men do their jobs of building society, but they're making y'all look stupid on y'all jobs too. And you should be ashamed if you're one of these people that constantly complain to your husband as soon as he goes home from a real job, and then you talking about changing diapers. It's not the same. That don't mean you don't respect it. But if you could do it, you would. You know how all these feminists say, if he could do it, if he wanted to, he would. Well, if you wanted to maintain society and build power lines and be a bricklayer and build houses and carry metal pieces that weigh 50 and above pounds, if you wanted to, you would. Be appreciative of the society that men built. It's disgusting to me that when you go and you see these street interviews, women will say things like, we don't need men. We can have a society without them. Where? Show me where that society is right now. Show me where there's a society of just women, no men, no men's help, and they have power lines and working water and air conditioning and moving cars and vehicles and flight, airplanes. Show me where that society is. And show me how it lasted. You would be dead without men. And I'm tired of people not appreciating that and pretending like that's not the case. It is the case. And God wanted it to be and made it that way so that you as a woman, if you hear the sound of my voice, will be appreciative that men have provided and protected for you. It is a privilege to stay at home with the kids. It ain't nothing to be complaining about. It's all right to have a harsh day and tell your husband, man, it sucked because the kids was really acting up today. Never should you as a woman feel like you just can't say anything ever. I'm not saying that. But when it becomes your whole attitude to complain about a privilege you have, a lot of men hear that and they be like, dude, why am I suffering then? Why don't you go out there and work? I'll stay with the kids. They don't want that. Because when it comes to divorce court, guess what? They always want custody. It can't be that hard. You always want it. If that was the case and it was so much harder than going out to work, why is it y'all don't fight that he take custody and you work, since it's so easy to go out and work? But you never hear that argument, do you? So it's like, I could say much more, but I don't want to bash stay-at-home moms. That's not the point. I respect them. But what I don't like is feminism. I hate it. I hate it. So, all right, Mr. Producer, let's go to that next video.
Don't.
Is it he got another one?
Stay-at-home moms complain about is the helicoptering
you know
that
what?
they're doing. It is on them.
Should we?
That's definitely part of it. I have kind of a unique perspective on this stuff now because I do get to see 3,800 people every single day on each fucking video comment.
You know
about
what? Let's
this
go
stuff.
to the next one real quick.
And I think that there's two main components.
Yeah, let me see if it's.
Glad you asked. They want me to be wrong because me being right includes them having to do actual work. They've found something that is invaluable. The ability to do whatever the fuck they want with no ramifications.
Yep.
Or any kind of performance review. Unfortunately, at the end of this entire thing, there will be a performance review, and it will be the character and the success of your children. So if they actually listened to me and stepped up and took accountability and some personal responsibility, that would mean that they would have to get off their phones and off their fucking asses and actually do something in order to make their lives better. Instead, what they will do in the name of comfort and convenience and lethargy is they will hold on to this thing with an absolute death grip and ride it into the rocks. Because what better way to gatekeep such an incredible secret than to try to convince the other half of the world that it's so difficult that you don't even want to try it?
Yep.
Isn't that
He
crazy?
is
They're mad because I found out their
100%
secret
right.
and I'm having the fucking time of my life. The end.
100% right. They're gatekeeping how easy it is so they can convince you not to even try to do it. All right, let's go to this next video. Yeah. We're not going to play all of it, but we'll play some of it.
It's queued up to a certain. Should we?
Yep,
take it
you
right
can play it from there.
Okay, right from there. Okay.
It's by people who, frankly, I think not only should know better, but do know better, but see a financial incentive in whipping all this stuff up. And all these conspiracy theories in the last week, and you were there in court, look to me like they've been comprehensively dismantled. This was exactly what it looked like. This guy killed Charlie Kirk because he wanted to kill him. And we know that because his flatmate has confirmed all that. And we know that from all the other evidence that came out. Am I missing anything? Is there any great grand conspiracy of the kind that have been spewed out by, I'll say, the leading protagonist, Candace Owens, who has gone after Erica Kirk in a way that I find really appalling? But I also think whipping up all these ridiculous theories, surely now, when confronted by what we've seen in court, it is a time to reflect on what are we doing as a society? When a young husband and father gets brutally murdered like this, and we turn it into effectively a clickbaiting entertainment empire that can make vast sums of money spewing conspiracies which are obviously bullshit.
Well, Piers, thank you for your kind words about Charlie and even about Turning Point at the top of this. And I agree with you that Charlie was a generational talent. By the way, I should also say that absolutely praying for Ann Widdecombe. This situation seems absolutely horrific. I've been following it since I've been here.
Well, the counter-terrorism police have got involved now. And
apparently there's just some breaking news today.
They found stuff which suggests that this person may have been motivated for political reasons
and to me it almost
drive
seems
300 miles to go and kill a woman nearly 80.
Well, and the same way that we learned in court last week that Tyler Robinson drove 3 hours to get to the campus. They have his cell phone data. They have the data from his car systems. They have obviously videotape and surveillance tape that's gone out. And so I can't help but worry that perhaps it's this same type of political hatred, this idea that we should use violence rather than words, which is what Charlie always stood for, that we saw with Charlie's murder has now come to the UK in this case.
Right. I want to play a clip from Candace Owens, who came back from a break this week and said this.
There is a seemingly infinite number of influencers on social media who watched the Tyler Robinson preliminary hearing last week, and they reported back to us common folk that they came away from it and they were effectively drowning. They were submerged. They were engulfed. They were completely buried by the avalanche of undeniable evidence that Tyler Robinson murdered Charlie Kirk. I mean, they were so consumed that they all just began using that exact same adjective to express themselves. It is overwhelming. In fact, that has really been the key word since last year, right? It is the new wear a mask, save lives, 6 feet social distancing. The evidence against Tyler Robinson is overwhelming.
I mean, the problem, Majaha, is the evidence against him.
What she's doing is pretty evil. Because what she's trying to do is a comparison bias. She's comparing two things that she knows have no comparison and acting as if they do because you have a negative connotation with one. She's comparing everyone recognizing that the information against Charlie Kirk's killer, Tyler Robinson, is overwhelming to the fact that during COVID, they used propaganda to tell us you better take the jab. And she's doing that on purpose because she knows her audience is most likely Republican and we're against government overreach. And since we're against how the government tried to force people to take a medical procedure that they disagree with, most people who watch our program will be totally against that. And just like you should be totally against people saying Tyler Robinson is guilty. It's a way to manipulate people. Because even if you don't agree, she wants you to watch her program and say, yeah, that's right. They did try to convince us like that. And just like that, I think she has a point. But if you're a smart person, you would understand that these two things have no comparison. When you're presented with evidence, don't let your monkey brain, conspiracy brain, go out of bounds simply because it's entertaining to you at the time. Sometimes you got to accept the simple answer that's right in front of you. Here's the biggest reason why I know Candace is lying, and I know the conspiracy theorists that agree with her are lying. If what she's saying is true, why isn't Tyler Robinson's defense using any of her arguments? It's their job, and they would be absolutely famous and set rich for the rest of their lives if they got him off of this. If they could get him off with this crime, they would be just like the people who got OJ off, set for life. You know where the Kardashians came from? Their father was part of OJ's winning team, and they're set for life. So you're telling me that she has all these great arguments and conspiracies, yet none of them are used by his defense team, who could be set for life if they just got him out of jail. But yet they don't think any of her ideas are credible enough to present in court because they're stupid and they're the babblings of a fumbling retard. That's why. We could play the video.
Is overwhelming. I mean, Jack himself was in court, as he said. He posted yesterday the moment Lance Twiggs, who was the partner of Tyler Robinson, agreed to testify against his boyfriend. The defense was sunk. Twiggs didn't provide an alibi or say the rifle had been stolen. Instead, he confirmed that Tyler Robinson confessed to killing Charlie Kirk, along with other key details of the plot. And I know, Officer Tatum, you were there too, and I'll come to you about this. But what do we do about this with Jarhat? Because I've watched this play out since Charlie Kirk was murdered, and it's awful. It's awful. It's awful to see a widow, Erica Kirk, whatever people may think of her, to see her targeted in such a heartless, cruel manner.
Yep.
I just think is horrendous.
Whether you like her or
what
not.
are we doing here as a society?
What you're witnessing is political cannibalism, and what you're witnessing is the end result of a political movement that is born off of and fueled by anger, rage, conspiracy theory, and lies. It eventually turns on itself. I want to remind everyone, because I have the receipts, that after Charlie Kirk was brutally murdered, before there was any evidence, before there was anyone who was arrested, Donald Trump and Stephen Miller and the entire right wing blamed the radical left. This was the time during they unleashed the National Guard and ICE against American people and were trying to gin up a case to attack anyone who opposes Donald Trump and the MAGA movement. Then what happened? Kash Patel, who is the completely unqualified leader of the FBI, completely messed up, had no leads whatsoever. We actually had the FBI say we have no leads whatsoever. Tyler Robinson turned himself in, according to what we know, because a family member said, turn yourself in. So the only suspect that we actually have is Tyler Robinson. The conspiracy theories that have come out, the ugly conspiracy theories that you've talked about, have only come out from the right wing. In particular, but not exclusively, Candace Owens has profited off it, coming up with these insane conspiracy theories, also anti-Semitic conspiracy theories about, another shooter or perhaps Israel and other individuals, and they don't believe the case itself. And I'm looking at it and say, it looks to me like most likely Tyler Robinson was radicalized. Here is a white man with a gun. He had his own grievance, and he shot and killed Charlie Kirk. And now, from the evidence that we've seen in the past week, his roommate said that Charlie Kirk Tyler Robinson broke down crying, admitting that he killed Charlie Kirk. So this is an entire political movement in real time that is eating itself. Candace Owens came from MAGA. MAGA is now turning on MAGA. And now if there's any self-reflection and any decency, which there isn't, they would sit back and say, maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't have spread these insane conspiracy theories. Maybe we should not have talked about, oh, I don't know, QAnon. Maybe we should not have promoted Stop the Steal movement. Maybe we should not have promoted replacement theory. Maybe we should not have said that all law
theory is a
enforcement are part of the
conspiracy?
enemy of the state. Jack, you became famous promoting these theories, these conspiracies, these lies.
So do you mean like when? So I noticed you left out that Jimmy Kimmel said that you mentioned me. Bring it up. I noticed you mentioned. You forgot to mention that Jimmy Kimmel went on nighttime TV and said that it was a MAGA supporter who killed Charlie Kirk. I don't think Jimmy Kimmel is a member of the right. I know. I also remember that there were a lot. No. I'll let you talk. Now you brought me up. I'm going to respond.
Be a man, Jack.
I also saw.
Be a man.
That there were many people
saying
saying
a liberal tell anybody to be a
each other.
man.
Let him reply. Let him reply,
Jack, I
there was a
interrupt you, Jack.
there were people who claimed it was
Let him reply.
There were people who claimed it was
Let him reply, Vagina, then you can reply to him.
Shut the heck up.
Support for Uncensored comes from Dose for Cholesterol, a simple and reliable way to take control of your own health. Cholesterol can be an issue for many people, some for lifestyle reasons, and sometimes just bad luck.
Let's go to this part here. Let's see.
Yeah, this dude is insufferable.
Yeah, so you're literally doing what I accused you of doing, so thank you for proving
Following the evidence? Thank you, yes.
Jack, listen, be a man, have the courage of your convictions.
The courage of following the evidence?
10 toes down, Jack.
Reading the evidence
is what you have
where
created.
It lies?
Wait, just let me finish. This is the movement that you have created, and this is the movement now that is eating itself.
The movement you are part of killed Charlie.
Just let me finish, Jack. I let you say what you had to say.
Charlie
I'm almost
Kirk.
done. Listen,
that's the left.
Candace Owens is not a member of the radical left. Candace Owens is a member of MAGA.
The radical left murdered Charlie Kirk.
And the attack against Turning Point and Erica Kirk,
a guy in a
trans
trans relationship with Antifa etchings on the bullets murdered
Jack, all
Charlie
I'm going to say
Kirk.
is this. Let me
That's
finish.
all the evidence
and
in
then
court.
You can move on.
That's the
There's
court
a
evidence.
Great quote.
You know what?
There's
Pause
a great
that
quote
for
that's
me.
murder.
This idea that this dude who murdered Charlie Kirk was anything but a left-wing nut job is insanity to me. What right-wing dude has a trans, gay, homosexual relationship and a furry? That's like two negatives. And in this case, two negatives don't make a positive. They just make you even more gay. You can't get much more gayer than that. This dude had a boyfriend who was a furry and claimed to be part girl too. And you want to tell me well, that's really it's really all the conservative Republicans' fault. That's the dumbest take I've ever heard. And this is what liberals do. They know they're lying and they will look you dead in the face and broadcast whatever they've done onto you. They know that it's liberal people pushing this stuff. They know there's people like Destiny who was happy when Trump attempted his assassination, when he laughed at the guy who was there who got killed, the firefighter. They know this. Remember we did the video of the girl saying, I just want you to know, you reap what you sow, you reap what you sow. Liberals was laughing. They were so happy that he died. They had Halloween costumes with blood splatter on the neck. And you want to tell me, oh, this is Republicans doing all this. Get the heck out my face. You could play it, man.
You don't seem to care. You don't seem to care that Charlie was killed. There's an MP who's killed in the UK right now. It seems to be targeted.
You're not letting me speak.
You're blaming me. You seem more upset about me simply being here talking than people who agree with your politics murdering people, one at a campus, one in her own kitchen.
Jack, just let me finish. I did not interrupt you. You seem like you're telling
yourself. You literally interrupted me so much that Pierce had to step in.
All right. There's a great line from Godzilla. Ken Watanabe character says, "Let them fight." And I, for one, am fine with MAGA eating himself over this horrific issue. And I say, Pierce,
and you seem like you're fine with your guys killing us.
Let the investigation play itself out.
I don't hear you have 1 minute of time to say, you know what, both sides should not be violent. Could you at least say that?
I'm perfectly fine condemning violent extremism on all sides. I've done it on Pierce's show for 2.5 years.
What was the motive of
Charlie Kirk's
killer?
And the number one domestic terror threat in America right now for the past 20 years is, want to take a guess? White supremacist
What was the
terror.
motive of Charlie Kirk's alleged killer? What's the motive? Just answer the question.
You tell me. What's the motive? You tell me, Jack.
I just did many times.
Interesting.
All right, let me bring in the others who've been waiting patiently. Let me bring in Brandon Tatum, a.k.a. the Officer Tatum. You've also been in court. You posted day 4 of Tyler Robinson's preliminary hearing changed everything. The courtroom saw the text, the note, the rifle, the DNA, and Lance Twiggs' interview. The conspiracy theories didn't survive the evidence. I mean, look, there seems to be a reluctance by many people on the conservative right in America, whether they're fearful of her or I don't know what it is, but it seems to be pretty cowardly to just outright call out Candace for what she's been doing, right? What we've seen in the last week in court from the evidence that was produced is that all this conspiracy flying is bullshit, and she's been making a ton of money doing it. It's no different in my eyes to what Alex Jones did with InfoWars about Sandy Hook, right? Peddling deliberate lies for cash. Now, I'm already in a bet with Candace for charity of $300,000 about whether Brigitte Macron is a man. And the Macrons are suing her, and we're going to get to the bottom of that. And guess what they're going to find? She's a woman because she had 3 kids. And I doubt Candace will pay me. She'll
Just
go
an
on
ugly
a
woman.
rant about endless conspiracy theories involving everyone involved in the court case. And she won't accept it, in other words. She never accepts anything. She just wants to peddle these conspiracy theories and doesn't seem to care, to me, Brandon, about whether actual people who are grieving, like Erica Kirk, get deeply wounded in the process of all this. And again, I ask you the same question. I mean, would you condemn Candace Owens for what she's been doing?
Yeah, I think that's an easy condemnation. I condemn anything that Candace is saying that is wrong. You know, I know her personally, and me and her are supposed to have a conversation here soon about what's going on, because I think that I think it'll be beneficial for her to be educated on what the truth is, how these processes work, how investigations work, how DNA evidence works. And as a person who know her personally, I think it's invaluable for me and others who know her to have a conversation with her. You know, I don't think that it's conducive to get out and scream her name every single day on social media. Erica's not doing it. Turning Point is not doing it. Charlie never did it, even though he disagreed with many things that Candace said. I think it is important that we attack what is being said 100%. It is lies. I think the things that are being said are evil, they're hurtful, they're counterproductive to Charlie Kirk's legacy, who he was as a man and what he stands for. And I condemn anybody that's out here peddling lies when we have evidence that's unequivocal that came out in court in the preliminary hearing. It's going to be even worse if they go to trial. There's going to be even more evidence. There's going to be more witnesses.
Yep.
And so and the gentleman that's, I guess next to me, I don't know if the audience is seeing it the way I'm seeing it, but what a complete fool to sit and gloat and have your opportunity to say, well, I'm excited that the MAGA is fighting each other on the back of Charlie, who was assassinated for just being a man who spoke the truth. He was a good man. He was a good father. I knew him personally. And it's a shame that we can't sit here and just condemn hatred. We have to go and point that it's MAGA, it's not MAGA.
Yeah. I'm happy to see them eating each other.
This man lost his life representing what America stands for, and that is the freedom of speech. He would voluntarily, people came to debate him on campus. He never was belligerent with people. He didn't get violent with people. He gave people opportunities to speak. And a leftist nut job that followed this anti-Trump hatred towards Christians and conservatives is the one that took his life in callous with no remorse. And so don't give me that crap about MAGA. The left is the most violent group of people in this country. They tried to kill the president multiple times. They killed Charlie. They've tried to kill Congress members. These people are threatening my life, Jack Posobiec's life. I mean, we got letters in the mail from these nut jobs claiming to kill us. You cannot name a single instance in recent history where conservatives are doing the exact same thing, targeting and killing a Democrat.
You know what?
Name
Pause
one.
it.
Well, I would say,
the one thing we did was we're let into the January 6th Capitol, and they won't let us go on that. That was worse than slavery. When Republicans entered the Capitol, that was worse than what happened at the Holocaust. That's what these liberals think. So the thing about it is that really angers me is they act as if the playing field is the same on both sides. It's only one group trying to stop ICE from getting into facilities, trying to run ICE over with cars, attacking police during the Black Lives Matter, burning buildings down, shooting at people, trying to assassinate the president, assassinating anybody who they disagree with. It's only one group. And it's time for people to fight back. It's time for conservatives to fight back. And you say, well, everything but violence. No, violence is on the table as well. You know why? Because when you talk about self-defense, violence is lawful. When somebody is trying to end your life for stating something in America, you have a right to defend yourself. And I'm tired of conservatives being scared. Remember that conservative girl who was just talking to a young black lady, and she was light-skinned black, and she was talking to a beefy-looking dark-skinned black, and she got punched in the face because she disagreed with abortion. If I was there, I would have punched her back. We need more of that. You don't let people just harm you in this country. Maybe somewhere else, but not here in this country. Conservatives need to fight back. You can play it.
I would say that, right, it is provable that in this century, that for the overwhelmingly large part of this century, most of the political violence in America has come from the right. I mean, that's inarguable statistically.
I would
counter it by saying I think there's been a turnaround in the last 2 years, I think was the last thing I read. And for the first time, actually, this century, you're seeing it skewing slightly to the left now. So this is the problem on both sides. Why don't we just be intellectually honest about it? As we bring in Brian Tyler Cohen, this is a problem on both sides. Radicalized people to the left and right who think that the answer to disagreeing with people is to kill them. Right, and we're seeing the same thing in the UK. Anne Widdecombe is the third politician who's been murdered in the last 12 years in the UK. The third, right? And it's for their political beliefs. They're getting killed. It's like the most appalling form of terrorism you can imagine, right? These are politicians representing constituents. And whether it's Charlie Kirk in America, a political figure, or actual politicians in the UK, all the presidents you've had who've been shot and assassinated and survived assassinations and so on. This has been going on since I was born. You know, I was born in 1965, and you had JFK murdered just before me, then his brother, then Martin Luther King, and so on. Trump's only been killed several times. So let's not pretend it's just the left or the right. It's not. But
it's just the left.
Let's come back to Charlie Kirk, because what you're seeing immediately, you're seeing with Lindsey Graham, for example, who, from what the accounts I've read, almost certainly has died of a heart-related condition, which came on very suddenly and can kill you very quickly. But I'm also reading endless conspiracy theories being aired that this was Russia, it was Iran, it was Israel. You know, Trump has been asked about it. He said this.
Look, the Russians have a habit of poisoning people they don't like. And Lindsey Graham once called for Putin to be, taken out. You have any suspicions or worries? Do you think we know the whole story about his death?
I don't think, just to answer the conspiracy theory, I don't know. I'd love to say yes, but I think he had some problems and very, very difficult. And his father died just about at the same age from, I'm a believer in the racehorse theory. If you have problems, you have problems. And he had some problems that were a little bit deep-seated and not easy to find.
So Brian, what's your view of all this? Yeah, let's have an honest conversation about this.
I mean, in terms of conspiracy theories surrounding Lindsey Graham's death, is that what you're asking?
I would say that we got the Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories being peddled ever since he was murdered. You've now got the same thing happening with Lindsey Graham, where a lot of people don't want to believe officialdom at all. Trust has never been lower, I think, in officialdom. But you've also got, I think, bad actors out there now who deliberately peddle this stuff to make money online. And they do it aggressively and they make millions.
Yeah, and I think conspiracy theories are the currency of the internet right now. And I think Waj brought up a great point, which is that we have a panelist on this very panel who did exactly that. Jack, with the Pizzagate conspiracy theory, is an example of somebody peddling abject
I would love to talk about all your Russia
episodes,
Brian.
Profit.
How many times have you done an episode talking about how Donald Trump is controlled by Russia?
Why can't you stand up for the words that you've said?
Russiagate that you have pushed for absolute years.
Why can't you stand up for the words that you've said?
For absolute years.
Do you stand behind Pizzagate?
For absolute years, your conspiracy theory
Do you stand behind
took
your
down
own
our
words with
entire
Pizzagate, yes or
government,
no?
destroyed the country.
Yes
you
or
had
no? Do you
had a
stand
guy
behind
named James
Pizzagate?
T. Hodgkinson who shot up a Republican.
You can't. If you're willing to say these things, why can't you stand behind them?
Field because
he's
of
not
your
a
Why
man
conspiracy
filibuster?
theories.
Why can't you
We're
just
dealing with a
stand
boy.
up for your own words? You said
Jack,
them. Why
be a
can't you
man.
stand up for
I'm
your own
asking you
words
if you
instead
can
of
do- if you
filibuster?
do you hold yourself to your old
In the
standards?
interest of fair play,
Do
I
you hold
like,
yourself
I like
to
to call
your
out
own standards?
everybody,
Pause
but
that
look, they
real
put a
quick.
direct thing to you, Jack.
Now I'm about to go in my Pizzagate bag. I believe Pizzagate is a conspiracy, but when you look at all the weird things, and I'm trying to think of Hillary's campaign manager. What is his name again? It was dang, I forgot, something with a P. But all the weird stuff him and his brother were in, and Cometgate Pizza, and all the weird posts they did. There's something weird going on there. I'm not saying for a fact that they were hiding children in the basement, but something weird was going on because they had a bunch of sexually charged posts and with kids in it. And it was not one, not two, not even tens or 20s. It was hundreds. There's been plenty of documentaries on YouTube that were taken down that exposed the types of art they bought. Who remembers the type of art? John Podesta is his name. John Podesta and Tony Podesta. Who remembers the type of art they had in their house? One was a tribute to Jeffrey Dahmer. It was a statue made in the pose that Jeffrey Dahmer murdered his last victims in. And then there was other pictures of children hung up like this in art. They had to petition, hung up in a room that looked like a cellar. Why would you have that art? Now you can say that doesn't prove anything. You're right. It doesn't prove anything. But I do think that's weird. And I'm not talking about in the sense of these people are talking about, we got a conspiracy that the Jewish state killed Charlie Kirk, and it's just weird that a plane flew by at 7 minutes and 20 seconds. That's not the conspiracy type stuff I'm talking about. I am talking about factual evidence of Democrats involved in the Pizzagate scandal, where you look and you see they were doing all types of weirdo stuff. I may do a breakdown of that one day, but I'm telling you, dude, it's some weird stuff. I never believe conspiracies ever. But when I looked into the Pizzagate crap, I was like, this is weird, man. I don't even want to go any deeper because this is getting too weird for me. So, yeah, he's trying to catch him on this Pizzagate stuff. But that stuff, dude, go down that rabbit hole if you want. Go down. You're going to find some weird stuff. You can play it.
You were part of that Pizzagate conspiracy theory era. Do you now regret that?
Well, for one, I never said that it was true, ever. People have put words in my mouth, and people have claimed things I never said.
Did you believe it might be true?
No.
Then why'd you promote it?
Again, see, he's saying promoted. He can't actually point to anything I've said.
Did you ever promote it?
No.
Never?
Wow.
No, we went there to have dinner and to show people that it was a regular shop. And I've said that from the very start.
You also promoted Stops the Steal.
See, again, here we go. So I'm explaining something.
Well, he's given, to be fair to him,
he just jumps over.
To be fair to him, Wajahat and Brian, he's given a very unequivocal response there that he never promoted the Pizzagate thing, which was the QAnon theory, obviously. That he never did that, and so do you guys?
And by the way,
have
QAnon?
Well, hang on. Do you guys,
I'm in the HBO documentary calling out QAnon.
Right, but I just wondered, do either of you guys actually have any evidence he did promote the Pizzagate theory as a theory?
Piers, he is lying.
Okay, well, show me the evidence.
He just lied.
What do you mean that evidence is his entire career? What are you talking about?
No, that's not good enough. No, Wajahat, you can't do that. If you guys are going to accuse him directly of promoting one of the most outrageous conspiracy theories in modern history, at least provide some evidence. I mean, tell me where he has promoted it.
Jack Posobiec's
They're
entire
on
career.
ChatGPT right now trying to find something. Why would you make a claim like
for
that
sure.
against
I'm
Jack if you don't have
absolutely- I'm
evidence right away?
absolutely fine.
I don't know if
should
you
have
did
it
or
off the
didn't.
top
I'm
of your
relying on
head.
you two who
It
made
should
the
be off the
charge to
top of your
provide
head
evidence.
for you making a claim like that. You should be right off the top of your head. You shouldn't have to look down and do your research on the show.
I don't
you
mind
made
if
the
they
claim.
even. I do. To be honest, Brandon, I don't mind if they do want to check it, but I don't know the answer for certain. But you guys are the ones accusing him, so I think it's only fair to ask you: do you have any evidence he promoted the Pizzagate theory?
I will find it right now.
Okay, but
All of a sudden, they don't know how to talk.
Jack, wait, Jack, hold on a second, Jack. So what you're saying on live television is you have never, ever in your entire career promoted the Pizzagate conspiracy. You're not in any way, shape, or form responsible for mainstreaming it, promoting it, in any way, shape, or form, making it famous, injecting into the right-wing ecosystem. Is that what you're saying on television?
I am saying the exact same thing that I have said since day number one to anyone who asked. You can go and look up my statement to the Washington Post back, I believe it was December of 2016, and I compared it to Iraq WMDs.
And what does that mean?
Well, what do you think? It means they were fake.
Okay. So, all right, if that's
So
what you're saying, interesting.
With 10 years, almost 10 years. But nobody ever actually looks at what I've said. They just do what you
Here we
do.
go. I have a quote from
smear.
Jack.
They just smear. It's all you guys do.
I have a quote from Jack.
Okay.
So this is what Jack said with regard to the pizza place that there was a claim that there was a sex trafficking ring in the basement of. You know why people use walkie-talkies? In the Navy, we used to use walkie-talkies a lot over cell phones. You know why? Because walkie-talkies can go through different levels in the ship. So if he's communicating with somebody, like in a tunnel or in a basement of another place in the area, that would be a perfect way to communicate with each other.
What are you talking about? Like, you're
This
not
is
even
this
providing
idea that a
direct
pizza
evidence.
placement,
You
that a
have
pizza
nothing.
place that didn't have a
Piers,
basement.
these guys
you
have
said the
nothing.
words, and I quote: "The
These guys
pizza
have
itself is legit. What's going on in the back is the issue."
Yeah, that's my point.
That was your
I said
comment.
I went there to show people it was a regular restaurant.
So what was going on in the back?
I went on to show people it was a regular restaurant. That's why I went there. I left.
So when you said what's
and I
going on in the
never,
back is an
ever
issue, what did
went
you
back
mean?
there. I never ever went in to promote anything like that. It was an idea that I had to try to reach out to people who were wondering about this on the internet, to just go there, order some food, sit down with a friend, and show them it was a regular
Explain
spot.
your comment. What's going on in the back is the issue.
Was the issue
What's going
that
on in
people
the
were
back?
talking about.
I've been there. I've been to that pizza place.
So have I.
What's
sure he
going on
has.
in the back? Jack, because I went there.
probably
You know
loved
what was
it
going
in
on in
the
the back?
back.
They were making pizza and people were playing ping pong. And you know what happened?
Yeah,
Based on the
I actually
people,
didn't even go back there. I
People
just
don't know
sat
what's
down.
happening at Pizzagate. Based on this conspiracy
Yeah,
and
again, you guys
radicalized
don't have any
demand
direct
to come
evidence
with
at all.
a
You
gun to
provided
that
nothing.
pizza parlor.
I just read
A
a
man
quote
came
of
with
you
a gun.
saying what's going on
You
in the
know
back
what?
is the
Pause
issue.
that.
You guys are saying that, like,
Because people
you
are
guys saying-
forgetting and they forget so quick what really happened. Remember, Hillary Clinton's emails leaked. And in those, people think the Epstein files was bad and had a bunch of coded language. When Hillary Clinton's emails leaked, they had a bunch of coded language talking about pizza, hot dogs, handkerchiefs. And nobody to this day explained what they meant. And what I mean by that is they weren't just saying, hey, I want a hot dog for dinner. And then people saying, oh, that's a secret code. No, here's the comments. Here's the sentences they were saying. The president has ordered $1,500 worth of hot dogs for tonight. It'll be so much fun. And then they'll have another sentence that says something like that. Do you like your pizza with cheese or pepperoni? Because I'm going to be getting pizza for everyone tonight. And then it'll be like, pizza will be by the pool to have fun with. What does that mean? The context is off. There was another sentence in there that said, there was a handkerchief left on the ground and it was pizza related. What does that mean? So when people was talking about, and then when they asked Hillary Clinton about it, she said, John Podesta he's Italian. He loves pizza. Then she had other emails that said we made a shrine to Moloch in the backyard. And she was like, that's just a joke. You want to tell me, like, it's one thing to have conspiracies where you're like trying to make things something else, but then there's another thing when someone never explains coded language, and that was obviously coded language. We can play it before I go on my Pizzagate bag.
Saying that is the same as equating this to some kind of grand trafficking conspiracy. You just don't have it. You don't
That's
have it.
literally what it is. When you say
look
what's
at
going on in the
headlines,
back is the
you look
issue,
at
that is
headlines,
equating it to a grand
and
conspiracy
you're playing
theory.
games rather than actually looking at what I did. And
Jack, you are
know,
doing what
Jack, I read a
Candace
direct
Owens
quote.
is doing right now. You did what
Again,
Candace
I'm
Owens is doing
also
right
telling
now.
you that you can go to the Washington Post and look at my statement on the record from December 2016.
I see it right now. So does Brian. Listen, you did.
You guys comparing
what you're
notes?
accusing Candace Owens of doing right now with Pizzagate. Candace Owens is doing it
my
with
team,
Charlie
my team,
Kirk.
look, my team have been checking this.
Also compared it to Benghazi.
They say, Jack, that you on X apparently you tweeted claims such as, and they're quoting directly, Pizzagate may be bigger than we suspected. That was just days before a gunman targeted the restaurant.
Congratulations, Jack.
I'd have to look at that. I don't recall that. That's on my Twitter.
You can't both condemn Candace Owens for spreading conspiracy theories while you are guilty of the exact same phenomenon that she is.
For the record, what happened there is regretful. What happened there is terrible, should never have happened. And in many ways, me going there, I think, and then seeing what happened afterwards, and I'm being honest. That's why I went there. That's why I went in to show people that it was a regular place. It got spun totally out of control.
But I guess the point is...
And here's my response. Here's my response. That's why when QAnon came up, I came at it very forcefully, very, very hard, and even agreed to go on HBO to speak out against it from the right.
Okay.
After the fact, right? Yeah, after the fact, after you promoted it, and it led to a man
I don't
who, by
agree
the way,
that I promoted it. I'm sorry, I just don't agree that I promoted
Piers,
it.
real quick, for people who don't know what happened at Pizzagate.
Yeah.
A man
So
literally
remind
thought-
viewers who know nothing about Pizzagate what it was.
Thanks to Jack and others, specifically conspiracy theorists who profited off of
But
this
no,
lie.
this was
What happened
incredibly
was-
viral. And by the way,
Just
my tweets
let
and
me explain to
videos
people.
were not getting
Jack,
big views
Jack,
back
I'll let
then.
you respond.
And
Let me
this
just
was
respond to
very
Piers.
viral.
Well, let Jahek explain what
Jack,
it was
let me
so
respond
that
to
people know what
Piers.
it is.
Well, I don't want to lie about me.
Based off this right-wing lie and conspiracy theory, which was a lie, and people made money off this lie. One man who was not crazy, a man drives to this pizza parlor. I've been to it in Washington D.C. with a gun. He gets out of his car and he says, "Where are the children? I have to save the children." People said, "Sir,
Yeah,
this
but
is a pizza parlor."
explain what the original conspiracy theory
The
was.
conspiracy was that Hillary Clinton and Democrats were actually using the basement of the pizza parlor for their international sex trafficking ring. This man who was, watching right-wing media, who wasn't crazy, sincerely believed that he was going there to save children from the liberals. QAnon then it merged with the deep state, and this is why so many in the right wing said, "Donald Trump, you're going to release the Epstein files, and it's going to prove QAnon, is going to prove the deep state." But Donald Trump is all up in the Epstein files, which is why he has not released the Epstein files. And the person who, in part, was not the only one, but helped fan the flames on social media and other places, is Jack Posobiec, who now has the audacity to say that Candace Owens.
Let Jack respond.
I'm willing. Look, I had this
conspiracies.
conversation. Would you, and I've condemned the violence, and I said that what happened is regretful. Are you guys willing to say the same thing about the Russiagate shooter in 2017?
Let's see if they will.
At the baseball field in D.C., and about the murder of Charlie Kirk that were done by the violent left. Are you willing to say that as well?
There's an investigation happening right now.
my
There's
God.
a trial.
Let me say something, Pierce. Let me say something, Pierce.
people are
Let me say something, Pierce.
Brandon, yep.
Do you got the two liberals on the show? Do you think that Charlie Kirk was a racist?
Yes, he
Do you
said that
think that
black
Charlie
people were
Kirk
better
spewed
off
hatred?
during
No,
slavery.
do you think that Charlie Kirk spewed hatred?
Yeah, I'll say it to you. He thought you,
The
as
Now
a
you
exact
know
black
what?
same
man,
Pause
thing-
that.
were
the
better
exact
off
same
during
Because he about to
slavery.
go in his
that you-
bag for a little bit. Here's the problem with liberals and when they say this stuff, because they will say, we don't condone violence, but they believe words are violence. So when you call somebody a racist and you call somebody hateful and bigoted, they believe racist and hateful people who spew racist, hateful things should be ended. They believe that. If you don't believe me that they believe that, go to one of these liberal marches and see how many people will say your speech is violence and you need to be stopped. You need to be ended. You need to be pew-pewed. Remember when the dude just got arrested at the ICE facility because he believed that everybody who worked for ICE should be ended. Their lives should be ended. He said this. This is not nothing that is unusual for liberals. They all think this way. Every one of them do. I'm not even, there's some who will say it, and then there's some who's not. Because look, one of their best debaters, Destiny, he ain't got deplatformed. He got one of the biggest followings. Another one of their even bigger than Destiny, Hasanabi. One of the biggest liberal influencer streamers said, we deserve 9/11. These people are not closed with this. This is not hidden. They believe that we should die. So, like, it's not a secret to me. It's only a secret to Republicans who think that, oh, yeah, they're people just like us. No, these people are evil, man. They need to be stopped. You can play it.
Saying right now is what got him killed. The leftist nut jobs pushing the same stupidity that you're saying right now is the reason why Tyler Robinson killed Charlie. This is exactly the same thing. You should be condemned.
You can't criticize
for saying
somebody.
something silly.
So you're saying
you can't lie.
You
cannot lie about
any
them.
criticism, if you level any criticism of somebody, then you are responsible for their death?
You can't lie about them. The lies is what caused a person like Tyler Robinson to kill Charlie. Lies. He was not racist. He was not hateful. He did not spew hate. He was a man of courage. And he had integrity, and he was fair. If you disagree with him, he let you come to the front of the line, and you can have your disagreement.
Brandon, Charlie Kirk said black men like you were better off during slavery.
No, he didn't.
Do you agree with him?
Lie.
100%.
You believe 100%?
Now what? Wait,
you were
after
better off
slavery. Let me explain, because maybe you don't know black history. No. You don't understand black history, and you don't understand what Charlie was saying. Listen, after slavery, there was an explosion of success in the black community. We had Black Wall Street. We were married to the women we had children with. Black people had a tremendous amount of success. Our success was growing faster than white people during that period of time. Now look at us. Now go look at any inner city in this country, and you see people getting murdered every weekend. The leading cause of murders in this country is by black people. Violent crimes, black people. Abortion at disproportionate rates, black people. A lot of things that were going well in our communities is going downhill
Look at his smug
fast
face he got.
after the
He ain't listened
60s.
to a word
And
he
it's because
saying.
we've been voting for these sorry Democrats for so many years, and they've done nothing for black people. And you cannot tell me, as somebody who knew Charlie, that he was a racist. He wasn't. I knew him very well. We did a whole bunch of incredible things in the black community. He helped out with Blexit, our black nonprofit that helped the black community. We took 400 black conservatives to the White House for the first time in history. So don't you say nothing about Charlie being a racist unless you have evidence. Outside of that, you're lying and you're pushing conspiracies that got Charlie Kirk killed.
Charlie Kirk said that the Civil Rights Act was a huge mistake. He said that Martin Luther King Jr. was awful and not a good person.
I agree with him. As a black man in America,
shout out to Chad O'Jackson.
That's your prerogative to say that, but you don't get to say because you agree with him that somehow that wasn't a racist thing to say. You are not racist. Like you are not the arbiter of what is or isn't racist.
The audacity of a white
liberal
liberal to try to correct a black man and say, you don't even know what's racist. I'm going to tell you what you should be offended by. Just because you agree with it, it's so crazy that it would say something that would hurt black people. How are you going to be offended on my behalf? You liberal soft cuck. Shut your mouth when you talk about black people, when you're talking to a black person. Don't y'all love to say that? Liberals love to say, be quiet when a strong black woman is talking. Be quiet and listen to black voices when you're in a room with black people. Well, how about you shut the heck up when black people are talking to you about black experiences and what we see as racism? What gives you the right to tell us what's racist? You have that much white authority, huh? That much white privilege that you gonna tell me what I should feel about other people. Simply because Martin Luther King is black and I'm black, I gotta be like a dog and be dog walked by liberals who want to tell me how I should feel about him. Shut your clown mouth. All you people do is low-key racism of low expectations. Oh, black people all think the same. Why don't you think like other black people? Because all black people aren't the same. We aren't a monolith. We don't all have to have the same views. Only you idiot liberals do that. One liberal thinks one way, they all think the same way. Once you met one of them, you met them all. Only thing that changed with a liberal is the hair color. That's it. Even that is becoming all purple. You can play it.
That is objectively racist.
You're not the arbiter of somebody having an opinion about a certain policy that's been put in place where he has evidence. You cannot deny what he's saying is true. Martin Luther King was
absolutely
a whoremonger.
I can.
Martin Luther King pushed communism. Martin Luther King was a whoremonger, and those are the things that Charlie Kirk was speaking about.
Yep.
He was doing an
Brandon,
orgy.
you just
Argued,
that slavery was like a net positive for black people.
No, well, first of all, if you had any common
sense.
If you have any common sense, nobody said slavery was a net positive. I said black people's explosion of success after slavery was a testament to this country, the country's values, and how we were doing well. And now you look at the black community and it's failing. So you tell me how that's wrong.
Brandon,
economic
that was a violent leftist that killed Charlie, and they won't condemn it.
You about to lie.
They just won't condemn the violence. We can disagree.
Just 1 second.
You can disagree with Charlie.
Well, let me ask that question. Let me ask that question of Wajahat and Brian. Wajahat, do you condemn the violence that was perpetrated against Charlie Kirk and killed him?
Yes, it was horrific. It was horrific. I disagree with Charlie Kirk, but you know what? I'll give Charlie Kirk one credit. Charlie Kirk said what he said. He tweeted it. He put it on TikTok. He put it on YouTube. He stood 10 toes down. He goes, I'm saying all these hateful things, racist things like black people were better off during slavery.
He never said
this. I have the courage of my convictions. That's what I respect about Charlie Kirk. He said it. He didn't backtrack from it. What happened to him, which was a horrific murder,
they'll lie
should
straight
be
to your
condemned
face.
because no one should be killed based upon their First Amendment right to free speech.
So what was the
He
motive?
was murdered, most likely, allegedly, by Tyler Robinson. He's the only suspect.
For what
Tyler
motive?
Robinson, in part, was allegedly radicalized. He is a white man from a conservative family.
No, he wasn't a radicalized white nationalist.
He did not come from a conservative
play here.
And
what
what
was his
Brandon is
ideology?
saying-
It's definitely a part of the radical left.
Brandon,
Any man
I
with
just
a
wanna go back to
transgender
Brandon.
son is not
The motive
Can I
is
just say
on
something
the
in
bullets.
response?
He
I
etched
answered your
the
question.
motive into the bullets he used to shoot Charlie.
I answered the question. Let me ask this because I
You
want
said he
this
was a
for the internet.
radicalized white. You didn't answer the question. You danced around it.
Brandon, Charlie Kirk, your friend, said you, as a black man, were better off during slavery. Do you agree with that statement?
100%. I understand what he was saying. I just articulated
agree
to you
with it?
the perspective that he had. Just because you don't understand history and you look at everything in the lens as black people are the ultimate victims in perpetuity, don't mean that Charlie Kirk can have an expression of something I agree with him on. Now, you're here sitting here trying to tell a black man that I can't agree with Charlie Kirk on the fact that I think that black people were in a better trajectory when we were in the 30s
During
after
slavery.
He didn't
said
say
during slavery.
You're lying. He said after slavery.
You were better off during slavery.
No, he did not. Show me the proof, and I'll give you
He
$1,000.
never said that.
All right, let's go.
You don't have it. Ain't no way in the world Charlie said we're better in slavery. He said after slavery. It's a whole sentiment around it. And black people understand this. History reflects this. Thomas Sowell expressed this. Black people were in a trajectory on a path doing better than white people. Anybody can fact check that. We had millionaires. We had people who were very successful. Black Wall Street, you name it. We had a lot of production. We were teaching our own schools. We had our own transportation. We owned our own companies, entertainment, you name it, we had it.
You want to
It wasn't
pause
until
that?
we began to integrate in a
I wish he was paying attention a little more when he was saying that, because he has said that several times and he's trying to poison the well. He kept on putting it out there. Charlie Kirk said you guys were better off during slavery. Charlie Kirk never said that. And Brandon Tatum was so quick to respond that he never heard that this guy kept on repeating this lying rhetoric. And so he's going to push them on this. We can continue.
way that Martin Luther King thought was best, that we begin to see the degradation of the black community.
And by the way, race wasn't part of this conversation until you injected it. Again, Charlie was white, the shooter was white. The ideology did not have to do with race. It had to do with him being a left-wing, pro-trans
no
activist.
Facts, Jack. There's no facts to that.
There's no facts. There's no facts. There's evidence in court. I went to court and watched them unveil the evidence. The hatred against Christians, the hatred against Donald Trump, the hatred against Charlie Kirk, the etchings on the bullets of the Antifa anthem, as well as Hey Fascist Catch. These are facts.
Well, I'm going to check, actually, in real time, whether Charlie Kirk did say that black people were better in the time of slavery. So we're going to find that out as we talk. But Wajahat, I just want to talk to you. about general language and discourse, particularly when public figures die. Because you wrote a Substack this week, the moment Lindsey Graham died, saying he was a terrible man who sold his soul for relevance.
What a terrible thing to
worth
do.
it. You said he was a duplicitous, spineless political cretin, willing to sacrifice
after
his soul
somebody
and convictions
dies.
to cozy up to power and relevance. The guy had just died.
Mm-hmm.
Does no part of you think, when Donald Trump attacked, Rob Reiner, for example, or Robert Mueller when he died, or John McCain, or Colin Powell, I've always criticised it and said,
you shouldn't do
I
that.
think it's awful to speak ill of the dead the moment they die.
You shouldn't do
short
it.
of people being Adolf Hitler or someone who's killed 12 million people, then obviously they're in a different stratosphere. But when you've got a public servant like Lindsey Graham, who did a lot of stuff across the aisle, people have been talking about that a lot. I
They don't
interviewed him
care.
with John McCain, with Joe Lieberman actually, and they talked about all this. He's had an extraordinary life privately of service and stuff to his family and to his country. Can you not compartmentalize the good and bad? And can you not hold off calling this guy, a duplicitous, spineless political cretin within hours of him dying? Because isn't that part of the problem here? One of the reasons that people get radicalized, why they want to use violence to take out people, is because this constant bombardment from the left and right of this kind of language, even when people have just died.
It was natural diseases that took out Lindsey Graham. I don't believe the right-wing conspiracies, and I believe
Nor
we
do
treated him.
I,
What
but
does
what's
that have
got
to do
do
with
what you
anything he said?
I believe we treat these political figures in death the way they live their life. The reason why the entire world, literally on the jump, when it was announced that he passed away, I was awake at 2:30. The reason why the entire world brought up his own receipts, his own rhetoric, was because he lived his life as a genocidal warmonger, as a person who literally said that Gaza should be leveled, as a person who promoted phase 4 starvation against Palestinians, as a person who cheerled this illegal, unwinnable war in Iran. You had a fantastic interview with Naftali Bennett. As a person who said we're in a holy war. No one ever brings up those quotes as people, children, are literally dying. Who was the number one cheerleader of that war that's going on right now? Lindsey Graham. Who was the cheerleader of Israel's occupation of Palestinians and the genocide
So if he
in
disagrees
Gaza?
with you,
Lindsey Graham. Who literally did a complete
urinate on his
180.
grave.
He was the man, Lindsey Graham, in 2015, 2016, who said that he was the one, used hateful language. He called Donald Trump a xenophobe. He called Donald Trump a hate monger, a bigot. And then Donald Trump was perfectly fine golfing with this man. Apparently, if Lindsey Graham was a Democrat, he would be calling him a radical leftist. But Lindsey Graham warned accurately what would happen to America and the Republican Party if Donald Trump was elected.
All right, let me bring in.
Then Lindsey Graham said, wait for a second, why call him a hypocrite? Then Lindsey Graham said, well, hey, Lindsey Graham, you warned about Donald Trump for 10 years. Why are you now literally a remora on his anus? And Lindsey Graham said, well, I want to be relevant. I want to be relevant. So yes, a hypocrite like that.
Do you think
a
Barack
liar,
Obama was
perfectly fine.
Barack Obama a duplicitous, spineless political cretin, willing to sacrifice his soul and convictions? I'm thinking specifically of campaigning to shut down Guantanamo Bay, then keeping it open, of running one of the biggest illegal drone programs in American history, of deporting 3 million people, more pro rata per year than any president of American history, and so on. In other words, is Saint Barack someone who spared the wrath of Wajaha Ali because he's on your side? Or would you write the same thing about him? The moment
Pause
Obama
that.
dies, would you be straight out with a Substack?
Of course they wouldn't. One, because he's black, and the other because he's liberal. They would never say that about Obama. They would worship him. If he died tomorrow, they would cry tears, true, real tears, because their Messiah has died. They worship him. And it's disgusting how these people can't even see the bias they have. In fact, they know they have bias, they just don't care. They don't look at you as human if you don't agree with them. And they're the same way, the same mentality that the Germans had in the 1930s is the same mentality they have. What the Germans did in the 1930s under the mustache man is they went and said, if you are not fully German, we don't care about your life. You don't matter to us. The same thing liberals do. If you're not fully liberal, you don't matter to us. If you stand against us, if you disagree with us, your life should be forfeit. We don't care if you die. Remember, if y'all don't believe me, remember what they said about the people who died from natural disease, the children who died, I believe, was like a forest fire or something like that, but because they happen to be Christian, they were like, oh, they deserved it. Who cares? They were right wing. Yeah, you could play the rest of it.
Hammering him using the same language you've used.
Everything you just said about Obama, I criticized him during his presidency, and an honest assessment of his legacy upon his death would include everything you just said.
Okay.
A historic president.
Well, I look
the
forward
first
to
black
reading
man
that
to
because
be
I don't
elected.
think you'd use the same vicious
he's
language,
lying.
but maybe you will. Maybe you will.
I don't play.
Maybe you will.
Piers, I don't
Let
play
me
this
ask Jack. In the meantime, I'm going to come to Jack for a response, but we've checked this. Charlie Kirk did not say that black people were better off in slavery. There was a manipulated video clip circulating on social media that created that false impression. This originated from a September 2024 debate hosted by Jubilee Media. During the debate, he discussed historical periods of subjugation, specifically pointed to black communities under Jim Crow laws in the 1940s. What he actually argued, he said that during the 1940s, black communities had lower crime rates and greater family stability than they do today. He used this rhetorically to argue against the idea
Look at this dumb
that
person's
systemic
face.
oppression or poverty are the only drivers of crime. He asserted if oppression directly caused high crime, crime rates would have been sky high during eras of severe oppression, which he claimed historical data did not show. So, he's not saying that black people were better off in slavery, clearly.
But during segregation.
Well, no, it's
Don't
not.
try
He's
to
talking
switch it
about
now.
Periods in the 1940s, which is not what you're
Segregation.
talking about.
What a big dummy.
So during segregation. And he
That's
was also
not what you
against
You
said.
said slavery.
So I will.
Why are you changing the goalposts?
Wait. I'll do
Take
something.
the loss.
Clown.
Take the loss with Jaya.
I
You
actually
literally
hate
spewed
him.
a conspiracy theory that came from
Piers,
a
I'll do it in
manipulated
real
video
time.
which perpetrated a false impression of what Charlie Kirk actually said.
Piers, I'll do it in real time. Something that Jack and Brandon could do. Thank you for fact checking. I saw that video. You fact checked it. I stand corrected.
Okay,
But
good.
the fact shows
Do you
that you're right.
apologize?
But the fact.
What? So he got fact checked. I already knew that dude was lying. I already knew that Charlie Kirk had never said this, but he was trying to present to the audience. You think if he hadn't got fact checked, wouldn't have had to run to that to his own grave with people? He would have been happy with them believing that Charlie Kirk had said something so racist. These liberals are evil, man. And here's what he did, that he's evil, and that he didn't really mean his apology. Soon as he got checked on, he didn't say, "Oh, really?" That was not his attitude. His attitude was like, but it was during Jim Crow and right after and during separation, and he still was trying to grasp for straws to see a way he could be right, rather than acknowledge he had said one of the most evil things you could about a dead man's legacy. This dude is a clown, man. This dude is a clown. You can't trust a dude like him. He is the type to stab you in the back. Do not even look. Some people like that with such little character and integrity, they're not worth talking to because they will lie just to win an argument when they know it's a lie. What's the point of talking to a person like that? Oh, you could play it.
Show
Do you apologize?
That he said black people are
Do
better
you
off during
apologize?
segregation, and
Don't
he was
change your
against the civil
goalposts.
rights movement.
Do you apologize?
Absolutely. You
You
fact
better.
checked it. Thank you so much. But he
Thank you
did
so
say
much.
black people are better off during segregation, and he opposed the
To
civil rights
apologize,
movement.
you actually have to say, "I'm sorry."
I, Wajat Ali, am sorry. I probably saw that same video.
Apologize
This is what happened on the
again.
internet.
All right, we're
Thank
getting
you
somewhere.
For fact checking.
We're getting
Thank
somewhere.
you for fact checking.
Let me ask Jack, what did you think about what Wajahat said about Lindsey Graham?
Well, it's interesting because I as a sort of new right conservative, I personally did not agree with a lot of the neoconservative views of Lindsey Graham. I certainly thought that he went way too far in his support for a lot of these wars that have been going on. You mentioned a few of them. Probably some other ones I would bring up, as a matter of fact. But Iraq, for example, or Benghazi, Libya. But at the same time, I do think that put it this way, having sat through a week in the courtroom and being there with Charlie's mother and father and his widow, it's a reminder to all of us, and looking at this Ann Widdecombe news, which is it's really all over the place here.
It's appalling.
And
it's appalling.
And it's horrific, and it does remind me that maybe there's maybe you should just pump the brakes sometimes. Pump the brakes sometimes and say, you know what, everybody's a human being. And by the way, Tyler Robinson's parents were in the courtroom as well, and for people who obviously have called for all the way up to and including the death penalty for him, it's one thing to say something about someone online, but it's totally different when you see them in person, you see their family, you see that it affects real people.
Okay, I want to end, because Brian, we haven't got to your book, The Day After How to Wield Power in a Post-Trump World. You label ICE, Trump's secret police. You call MAGA neo-fascists. Trump is repeatedly referred to as a dictator. And I guess I would ask the same question to you, is that, a lot of people on the left have very happily called Trump a Nazi, fascist.
You were saying the same thing about Charlie Kirk,
Does
too?
that help in the general level of discourse in America? Or could that all be tempered as well?
You should apologize.
I think if you want to derive the benefit of not being called a fascist, you shouldn't act like one. And you can start off with Donald Trump's own vice president, who used harsher language than certainly I've used, which is that Donald Trump is America's Hitler. So again, I think when we're watching Donald Trump move to consolidate power, ignore the courts, ignore other branches of government, seek to entrench his own authority, then you don't get the benefit of not being able to be called a fascist. I'm not arguing that Donald Trump is akin to Adolf Hitler. I'm not arguing that he is akin to these other figures who've laid waste to entire populations of people. But I am arguing that he does engage in fascist behavior. And so again, if you don't want that label to be affixed to you, then you have to act in a certain way, and he doesn't get that benefit.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Thank you for a very spirited panel. I enjoyed that debate a lot, and I think we may all take something away from it. So thank you all very much.
Thanks, Pierce.
Thank you, Pierce.
Thank you. God bless, Pierce.
You can turn it off. I just thought it was despicable how that dude was caught in a lie. And the first thing he did was try to double down and move the goalpost. And honestly, if you're going to lie that bad and get caught in a lie that bad, you might want to stop talking about politics. Maybe that shouldn't be something you do. Because it used to be that if you're going to comment on things, you're supposed to be factual and know what you're talking about. And at the very least, not to try to tarnish a man's legacy who just died and was murdered on public TV in front of everybody. So they don't have any qualms about tarnishing a man's legacy who died. And not only that, but it makes it even worse that he died standing for what he believes in, and they want to destroy what he believes in still. You would think that if you, like Charlie Kirk, died doing the thing that you believe the country needed, which was going to different campuses and spreading the truth, that people will be like, man, I got to respect it a little bit more. This guy died believing what he believed. He died on a campus sharing what he believed was the truth. Nope. They still tarnish his legacy. Say he said things he didn't say. They had at this point they had years to study what he's been saying, because he's been alive saying these things. And they had months and months to be able to discern what he said since he's died. They choose not to. They rather go with the lie to tarnish his character. And that's why you can't trust people like them. They must be defeated. These people will say in front of your face that they're sorry that he's died, that he died. But why? Think about this logically. Why, if you thought somebody was a racist and a bigot and a hateful person and supporter of a fascist and destroying the country from the inside out, why would you be sorry that that type of person died or was murdered? I wouldn't be. If I really thought somebody was that evil, I'll be like, yeah, he died, but he was evil. When Saddam Hussein died, I was not sad. I thought he was an evil dictator. So you know these people lied through their teeth because they really believe these things about Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump. But then when something happens, they say, well, we didn't mean for anything to happen to him. When something happened to Saddam Hussein, I said, thank God he died. He was evil. When they showed the video of him being hung, I was like, thank God. He was an evil man. But they cannot have that intellectual honesty because they know, and this is the dark part, they know what they think is evil and they're on the wrong side, but they don't care. They know transgenderism is evil. They know. They don't care. They know teaching kids to cut off their little you know what's and to get top surgery. They know that that's evil. They don't care. Because they serve their own God and they make evil good and good evil. So, I mean, if I was rating that debate, dang, that's a hard one because it infuriated me to no end. So it's like, was it entertaining? I would have to give it was entertaining. I'll give it like a 6.5. I say Brandon Tatum, I wish he was paying more attention to what the guy said. But I think when he did speak and when he was on fire, he was doing really well. And when he actually did listen to what he's saying, he did call him out. I'll give him a 5.5. He could have done a lot better and catching that dude in the lie the first time he said it and holding his feet to the fire. The two liberal cuck boys, I'll give them both a 1. To be caught in a lie like that on a national TV broadcast, Piers Morgan is seen all across the world. Millions of viewers, millions of subscribers. To be caught like that in a lie, it should ruin your career. But it won't because they're liberals and liberals always fail up. So I would give the entire debate a 6.5. Brandon got Jack Posobiec. He didn't. About 5, just straight 5. It was okay. I don't know. What do you think, Mr. Producer?
There's a lot of word salads going on by the two guys on the left there. Yeah, when you're called out on something, just take it and say, "Oops, I'm sorry," and move on. Don't keep doubling down on the lie.
Yeah.
And trying to convince people of what you're saying when there's obviously no support for it.
Right.
I mean, when Piers Morgan, and his crew, when they fact checked them, that was game over. It was like you just saw that you just see all the air was taken out of their arguments.
Yeah.
It was like
he had no choice but to
He had no
apologize.
choice.
Otherwise, you would be
He had
like,
to.
dude, we're never inviting you on any platform again.
Right.
You can't.
How do you take a person like that seriously?
Yeah, and I
mean, really.
wouldn't in the future because dude still tried to double down and move the goalposts.
Yeah, he tried to deflect and
Yeah.
and it was just a total defensive, look over here, not
Yeah,
over
yeah.
at me. Oh, look, yeah, exactly. Squirrel.
Right.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
yeah, he was hoping for that. Yeah,
Terrible.
that was I would say, yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think that was like a 6.5,
Yeah.
Debate. But yeah, I mean, it was what it was.
I'm glad the dude got called out, I guess.
Right, because I was doing some fact checking during it too. I'm looking, I don't see anything what he's talking about. I
Yeah.
don't see this.
Doesn't
I don't-
exist.
just don't see it. Right. Yeah.
I got into an argument with family members who accused Charlie Kirk of saying all this racist stuff, and I was like, dude, that's not what he said, and that's not what.
No.
But it's liars like that who put that out there for people to believe it and tarnish this man's character.
Right. Exactly.
So it disgusts me for no end. And they only can do it now that he's gone, so he can't defend himself.
Yeah, because it's easy then.
Yeah, it's easy.
It's easy.
You can go back and just ruin. He can't come up to Piers Morgan himself and defend it. This is why what Candace is doing is so evil as well. But that's a whole nother story. I've already addressed that. So, you got any more points before we wrap it up today?
I don't. Other than if you like what you hear and see, just like and subscribe and
That's right.
and just join us.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing more videos, more debate reviews. If you guys like what you see, like he said, If you guys want to see us cover something specific or specific people, let us know as well. All right, I'm Jack Bravo, and it's with Mr. Producer. We'll catch you guys later. Peace out.